Welcome to the Gaijin Guys podcast, where we talk about Japanese music news. First things first, BAND-MAID. As you see, there was some clips from that was New York City. Yeah,
it was a good show if I remember.
That was the most amazing, greatest day of my life, but also the worst day of my life, all at the same time. For other things that we will talk about in another day. We're going to talk about the good stuff. Because the good stuff was BAND-MAID. But everything else surrounding...
I was right there with him. Ryan. Every time I turn around, he's, can I come in, please?
It's just right there. No, Ryan. You were the second best part, okay? And that was it. That ends there. It ends there. After that, the worst part, the first number one worst part was Champ not being there. Number two was Wave not being there.
I was there. I just didn't want to hang out with you guys.
Oh shit! All right,
I was just happy to be back.
I knew it. I just knew. Hey, by the way, thank you.
I was rocking a wig.
Ultra Gamer, thank you so much for the new member membership. I appreciate it. Speaking of new members, I just want to mention this before we start talking about BAND-MAID concert. I'm going to be releasing a video after this announcing the winners. And if you were a Patreon and a member, you're going to be getting a BAND-MAID canvas or one of the pictures or the signed I have the pic from Hazuki from Nemophila be given away, and also the signed postcards from the VIP. So I just threw that in, and I'll be making a video later announcing the winners. I got a little randomizer thing set up for everybody that was a member and a Patreon for the past few months.
Can we win these things?
Huh?
Can we win these things?
No, you cannot win those things. Champ, I gave you a postcard. You're
Not only did you give me a postcard and a hat, but I think you forgot that you put something in my trunk that night that I picked you up also.
Oh, shit. That's right. We gave you a BAND-MAID poster that says Live Nation.
A huge-ass BAND-MAID, like 3-foot poster board.
That wasn't me, though.
Pretty cool.
Dusty did that. So shout out to Dusty.
Yeah, shout out Dusty.
Dusty went up to the guard. Fiddler. Yeah. He went up to the guard and was like, "Can I take this sign?" And they let him.
No shit. God damn it.
So that was at the New Jersey show. Let's start in order. We've talked about LA quite a bit. We could go over it again real quick if you want. Which I just want to say, shout out to SJ Nix who got our tickets for that. I can't thank you enough,
dude.
Man.
Thank you, man, for coming through.
I'm putting up a little thing about your new channel called the MAID Network. You guys should go subscribe to that. Very interesting
stuff. Network, although it's not news.
MAID News Network, even though it's not news.
That was the first question on their debut video. So, first question: are we news? No.
I don't know. You might want to rethink that title then. No, just kidding. No, it was very, very, very cool. I enjoyed the first video I watched. I'm looking forward to watching that second video, and definitely going to be mentioning it during my LA review. I'm glad you released it before I did that one. I'll talk about that MAID News Network. So make sure you go subscribe to that. Really cool channel. There are two huge fans since at the beginning, right, Nix? If you're still there, let everyone know, chat. I think it's since 2019 or something. Not sure. But I know he said he went to their first concerts and stuff in the U.S.
Yeah. Big fans. Done a lot for him through several shows, and it makes them happy. They've officially made BAND-MAID laugh and made them happy, so that's cool. Unlike
Ryan making them cry and scaring Psyche. Just kidding. Here, let's start with LA. We'll talk about New York. Let's just go down the line. We'll start with LA. We'll do a brief recap because I know we've talked about it before. I'll let you lead this off, Ryan. Tell everyone about the LA show.
It was great. I feel like I've talked about it so much.
You talked about it so much. It was,
but it was full of expectations and exhausted minds and legs and whatever. Overall, the show was great. Meeting everybody was great when walking up to the line, and there's people that Nix and Peter Lim, and I'm having a break right now in my brain as far as who was there. There's just a ton of people. There's so much to meet, and people that from comments, and multiple videos that you finally get to put a face to, and that overshadows anything that was kind of negative about the show initially when I look back at it. And then when From Now On hit in the concert, it was like a slap across the face to wake up and enjoy the goddamn show. And it was incredible. And then Sayanakadori just made everything okay. And I just looking back, it was just an incredible experience.
Sayanakadori, yeah. That was my put down the fucking camera moment.
Yeah.
That was my I literally stopped recording after that. I just was like, what am I doing? I'm right up front.
Pay attention, motherfucker.
Pay attention, exactly. That's what I did. Like I said, you go to so many shows. That's why I just recorded some parts and some didn't. You know, just have like review of the video. But yeah, I kind of gave up on that. But that was my first full concert after Aftershock, and it was a huge difference. But it just got better from there. So the first show that we all met up was in Boston, and that was Champ's first show. So Champ, you can finally talk about a concert with us on the podcast. So what did you think, Champ, seeing them?
What, Philly?
Wait, Philly.
I didn't go to
Sorry.
Boston.
Yeah,
not
Philly.
Boston, Philly. Sorry. There's so many shows in my head.
Philly was pretty cool. Yeah, so that was when I finally met up with Ryan and Alan, which I haven't actually talked about my experience at the shows at all yet since I've seen them, because I was just waiting to kind of put together a whole ass, like, I've got literally 69 videos exactly that I took at the two shows that I went to. I had to say that because it's a funny number.
Because you're a child.
Yeah. But it's also accurate. So, like, I mean, why wouldn't I? Right?
Facts is facts.
It's facts. It's facts. So I haven't talked about it at all because I'm like, my video is like, I don't know. It's really messy and it's taking forever, but eventually it's going to be really good. But just to kind of go over some of the cool stuff, I thought it was all right. So first of all, I brought one of my buddies with me who was not a BAND-MAID fan. First thing he said when he walked out of there was, "That was fucking awesome. I think I got to be a new fan now." I was like, yes, this is what it's all about, my friends. This is why you have a reaction channel, right? Like, This is why we do what we do. But it was cool finally meeting up with Ryan and Alan. We saw what was the song? So, and also they played a pretty different set list than they did in the next show that I went to in New Jersey. I mean, obviously, a lot of the songs were the same, but there were some switch ups and stuff like that. I agree 100% that Sayanakadori was awesome. I was actually surprised by how great it was. It's not one of the songs I listen to that much, when I'm listening to BAND-MAID. But when that one came on, man, I was just like, fucking Miku has come such a long way, man. Like to be able to take the forefront, play her guitar, sing the song at the same time, and have it all sound just like the album was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite parts.
I know every time I saw it, and I'm sure when you too, when she hits the note, does her solo, and then at the end she hits that note, and everybody just cheers louder than hell, and her face just lights up. She's just so happy. It's just awesome, man. It's just cool, really cool moment.
I agree 100%. Yeah, and just ultimately, like, from my first view of the show, and I stood like, so if you look at the venue, the venue in Philly is just like basic ass venue, right? Like it's a big square with a rafter over the top. And so I kind of like went down the middle and then to the left, and I scooted over to in front of Misa. So I was watching from like the bass perspective area, which did make it so that I couldn't really hear Konami that well. Like I could hear her, but like it wasn't as well as I would have liked, but I could hear everything and see everything that Misa was doing. And I feel like that was an experience unto itself, just to be able to watch her just like fucking whittle away on the bass the whole time, because like a couple of the videos that I took of her, I didn't take any full songs. I didn't want to do that. I just, because I was enjoying the show too much, so I would like pull it. Oh, this is a moment that I know something cool is going to happen. I'll pull out and film it or whatever. But there were some of the videos that I have is just her spanning the entirety of the neck over and over again throughout the course of like a verse, right? Like just a verse where like in my mind she's just playing normal ass notes, but when I'm watching it, she's just sliding back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then playing a little thing up on the high, and I'm just going, what the fuck is she doing up there, man? Like,
it is insane.
Why is she putting in so much effort? You know, but it was so cool to watch it from that sort of vantage point.
I didn't get over by her a lot. Now when I think in Philly, was it Philly? I was in the balcony the whole time. I think it was Boston. I went downstairs and walked by to go upstairs, and I stood there for a minute just watching her. And then she switched sides a couple times with Konami, so I got to see it. But I wanted to get over by her. It just didn't happen. But
no, it's like, so the one thing that I did notice with the two shows that I went to, it was like, if you find a good spot where you feel comfortable with how the music is being played, you don't want to move anymore.
No,
you know, it's like in. Yeah, you're kind of locked in immediately. And I immediately planned, like before I went in, I was like, okay, I'll do like half from the left, half from the right, you know, maybe I'll do some shit in the middle. But like once you find that one spot where you think everything sounds good, the last thing you want to do is move out of that spot. So
yeah.
So I ended up just like sitting all the way on that side for that whole show, and then for the Jersey show, I did the opposite, and I sat on the opposite. Nice. I was on Konami's side.
How about watching her play? You mentioned what Misa looked like playing, and Konami to me was almost just as amazing to see her play.
Well, do you want to jump over to the Jersey show now? I mean, I have more to talk about with the Jersey show than the Philly show. I don't know about you.
What was your favorite thing about the Philly show, Champ?
My favorite thing about the Philly show was meeting you guys. What can I say?
Aw, that's nice. My favorite.
We went to a little after party balcony. Yeah. So these motherfuckers were up, you know, in their royal area, just kind of like looking down on me as if they were the fucking masters, and I was just their slave boy. But like they're up here watching from this like right in the middle, all the way at the top, and I'm like down here like trying to like tippy toe, like so I could see over people, you know, up in the front. But yeah, it was cool. How was the sound from up there, by the way?
Fucking great.
It was fucking great because Philly was like my favorite. After that, I was like, this was like sound wise pretty fucking good. I loved it because I could hear Misa's bass the entire time, and it like perfectly. Like I could hear it. I don't know. So that was the highlight. The bass was a little bit higher, so it was nice hearing like everything that was Misa's doing. So I was really locked on Misa for most of that Philly show.
Okay, so you were getting the same vibes as I was then in that case, because I was just focused on Misa the whole time too. Although I will say that like I think the first thing, so after the like on a priority list of the things that I noticed about the band the first time that I saw them, one, Misa was awesome. Just that was the immediate response that I had. Two, the vocals were so much better live than I could have asked for. Like,
yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought, you know, with every band ever, you know, when they do something live, there's, you know, you don't expect them to sound exactly the same as the record, because when you record something, you record it like 10 times, you know, and then you take the best takes, and that's what you hear on the album, right? This was like a one take. Obviously, you get one take to do this right, and Psyche blew me away with how consistent she was, like just straight up perfect, like the whole time, even to the point where like in the last song that I think they finished with domination in every show, right?
I think so.
Every show I saw was finished with domination.
Yeah, they finished with domination at the two that I saw, and so we're 18 songs in at this point when they start doing domination, and there's like a specific moment in that song in the pre-chorus where she's building up to that first chorus, and the first half of the pre-chorus she goes into this she's doing her full-on chest voice, but then she hits this flip up to her head voice, right? She goes like a little falsetto, and then on the next line she switches and she takes that falsetto away and replaces it with this growl that she does. And I talk about that in my original video for watching Domination, the live one, you know, like 3 years ago. And it's always stuck in my head because I really like that format of how she uses the switch ups right there leading into the chorus. And when they played this live, 18 songs in, 2 hours later, she still hit both of those spots exactly the same as like that official live video. And that's when I was just like, damn, dude. Like, that's nuts. Like, she just fucking, like, we're 2 hours in and she's still hitting every note perfectly.
She did that. And then she even put every show, it was like more intense every time, like a little bit more fucking growling to it every time. Like by the end, it's like, fuck it, and just goes for it. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then,
show,
like,
show up a little bit more.
Yeah. Miku sounded great singing too. I will say that the one difference that I noticed between like the album versions and the live versions when it came to the vocals was I felt like there was more of a separation between Miku and Psyche in the sound when they were singing together. Not like a separation in that like it wasn't working together, just that I thought it was more obvious what the different voices sounded like when they were singing together live versus the album where I think they blend like and probably intentionally so. They've got production on albums and stuff like that where you can you know mess with the levels and stuff like that. You can't do that live, but I thought it gave it more of a raw feeling, which I really like. I love raw sounding live shows, you know. So but it still sounded really, really fucking good. Them working together, just it was obvious who was singing when they were singing. I
think I realized that with Miku. I think what happens on the albums, you get like your main vocal, then like an octave vocal, and then you get a harmony in there, and they're both doing them. And Miku would sing the harmony that wasn't just the octave, you know, copy. So she'd sing that, you know, whatever step it was harmony. So you hear that distinction a little bit more. Like like you said, there's not as much kind of holding everything together. You get that separation. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Did you notice anything like that, Alan, with the vocals? Alan might be going to the bathroom.
I was no. I'm like producing. I was like trying to keep everything up, keep it running smoothly. I was just gonna say I agree with everything you guys were saying. As far as you guys talk about vocals, Miku, when she came in with "Rockin' Me" later on, I really loved hearing that tone in her voice, and it was amazing. I loved it. I mean, I feel so like blessed to be able to hear Saya Nakadori and "Rockin' Me" by Miku. I just like you guys know I love her vocals. They're like my favorite. I really do. I just something about her vocal style I really like. And Psyche was, I agree, the most impressive. And I realized that at the LA show. The LA show was where actually I realized that Aftershock. Aftershock, I'm like, holy shit, this is way better in person. Way better in person. The CD just didn't do justice for me. And we were talking about before we started the podcast. I've been listening to Domination like. I know I got in BAND-MAID, like, you know, became more of a fan when Unseen World and Ryan and I were talking about it. And now I'm really, really appreciating Domination. Is actually becoming a favorite of mine. I've been listening to it nonstop lately, along with Pale Dust's new album. But I forgot where I was going with that. What
did you guys between the two songs, the two Miku songs, which one did you like more? Sai Nakadori or
I can't choose. I can't choose. They're both were equally amazing because there were two different ranges of her voice. There were two different ranges, and they showcase what Miku can do on different registers. Because it's a completely different sound when she does "Rockin' Me," and I like both of them a lot. It's really hard for me. What about you, Ryan?
"Rockin' Me" was one that I was kind of like, when I first heard it, and as I've been listening to him, every time it came on, I liked it. I say this to so many songs, but I literally liked it more and more. And instead of like waiting for it to be over so I could hear the next song, I was like kind of looking forward to it. So after hearing Saya Nakadori a few times, when that came on, it was at Philly, right? I think.
Saya Nakadori, yeah.
I was so fucking happy to hear it, and how I don't know, man. I was way more excited to hear it than I thought I would have been, especially a year ago. But when it came on, I was like, fuck yes, I want to hear this. I didn't realize how bad I wanted to hear that song. And it was
I felt similarly in that one.
Oh, it was just great, man. And you know,
it's
a very different way of singing, and it's like more kind of where Saya Nakadori is kind of, she's pushing her voice and it sounds great. Rockin' Me is like she's in the fucking zone. It's right in her comfort zone, so it just sounds so great.
I feel like I had the opposite reaction to you, Ryan, about Rockin' Me. The first time I heard Rockin' Me, I was like, damn, this is like such an underrated BAND-MAID song. Like this should be like at the top of the list type of thing. And so I like Rockin' Me album version almost like twice as much as Cyanocadori, to tell you the truth. I'm like a really big fan of Rockin' Me, not as much about Cyanocadori.
Cyanocadori hits me on an emotional level, I would say. That's what it is for me.
It's got more of that melody to it, I think, but live it was the complete opposite, like literally the complete opposite. I liked Cyanocadori so much more than Rockin' Me.
Wow.
Like to the point where when they played Rockin' Me, I wasn't like disappointed that Rockin' Me was being played. I was like, oh cool, it's Rockin' Me, like I'm happy that this is happening. But I was also like, oh, does this mean we're not going to get to hear Cyanocadori again, you know? Because I was looking forward to it after hearing it the first time in Philly. I was looking forward to hearing it in Jersey, and then I didn't get it, so I was a little disappointed by that. But it was cool that we got Rockin' Me too.
I gotta say, somebody mentioned in the chat though, like with Miku's songs, they're always my favorite song almost on every BAND-MAID album. I don't know why. Like I feel like they go so. Maybe it's because she's doing something different with her voice, so like the guitar just goes harder or something happens with those songs where it's just completely different. And whenever a Miku song comes up on the album, it's like refreshing, if that makes sense.
I feel like there's less like how do I say this? Because I don't want to have this come off as like a negative, because it's not a negative. But in the Miku songs, I always notice that it feels like there's less clutter around it. Like there's like more open atmosphere in those songs most of the time. And when they play them live, I feel like it's noticeable. It's almost like you can grab onto each note a little bit more. I always notice that about like simpler songs live. Like the more complicated a song is live, the harder it is to separate the blend of the live mix sound or whatever. A song like Cyanocadori that just starts off with the vocals and the palm mutes, you know what I mean? Like it's really obvious what's happening. You hear every note. So I just think that really like adds on to the live experience when you've got a song like that in your set list, to separate the songs like Influencer and From Now On and stuff like that, which are like really like intense, you know?
Yeah.
Let's just give a shout out to Makaluku, who has sent in a super chat, $10 super chat. Says best BAND-MAID content on the interweb. BAND-MAID family unite.
And then the other one, Rod Miller said, in New York City, every Thanksgiving does the top 1,043 songs as voted on by fans. It's a classic rock station. Thought about nominating Thrill. Want to see BAND-MAID make it on the list this year. Your thoughts? If we can get them on the list and then we can promote it over here on the podcast to get people to go over there and vote, and on our channels, of course, I'd say let's do it. If we can get them on, is there like, I'm not sure what the rules are on that, Rod. Let us know. And then we could definitely try to make that happen and get them at the top. That'd be really cool.
I don't know. Manners would be pretty awesome.
I can't believe they didn't play Manners on this tour. I'm really surprised by that. Isn't one of their like fastest?
Oh, they did though.
They did play Manners.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't play it at either of the shows that I went to.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
They played it when I was at. That's fucking great.
What did they replace? Like, what was there instead?
Oh my god,
I don't remember. There's so many songs.
It in New York. They played Cyanocadori From Now On. They didn't play On Set. It was Endless Story, Daydreaming, then Manners. Oh, then the fucking dragon cries.
I didn't hear that either.
Ryan, do you remember? We haven't talked about this, but From Now On was very, very special at Boston show. I felt like it was like a little extra with the leads and stuff. I remember Ryan and I looking at each other when they did From Now On instrumental, and it just being like, "What the?" Like,
it was so heavy,
was so good. And I don't remember. I had to go back and listen. Was there extra parts in that lead? Because I felt like there was. Like she's shredding like a little faster, or they were playing it faster. I don't know what it was.
I don't think so. I think it was just her presence, man.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's fucking crazy. It was intense.
It was the best performance. It was the best performance of From Now On. Yeah, it was the best performance of From Now On I saw on the tour. From the shows I saw.
I thought the two that I saw were amazing. Like, it was probably my favorite song that they played, honestly, which is crazy. It's an instrumental. I was just talking about how great the vocals were. But it just sounded so fucking good, bro. Like, I mean, the second, and that was the song where, so I brought my son to the second one, the one in Jersey, and he's heard BAND-MAID, you know, I'll play him in the car when we're driving home and stuff like that. He's a total weeb. Like, he listens to like anime OSTs and stuff like that in his free time. So he's intrigued by it, but he's also kind of like, you know, he listens to mostly like guy vocals and stuff like that in most of the stuff that he listens to, which is kind of how I was when I was that age too. I think it took me a little while to get into the female vocals, but it was in From Now On where we were standing there and we were on Konami's side where I'm filming, and he just turned around and he looked at me and he just shook his head.
That's
like,
awesome.
She is insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and then after the song ended, I said, "Why'd you shake your head at me?" And he goes, "Because that guitar, Dad." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I know, man." Like, it was fucking blowing me away too. And I was right next to her amp at that point. Me and her, we were like 3 feet away from that amp, and it was just. For a song that's so complicated and has so many parts to it and all of these like fast guitar leads, it came out so clearly live. That was like my main takeaway about that song. I could hear every fucking note that they played. I don't know how they did that. It's such a fast and complicated song, and it just it was like, it was as if it was an album version.
Yeah, it's insane, better. Dude. It's fucking insane. When I was talking to Elliot about it, I think after the LA show, I said something like, "Oh," somebody asked, "Oh, are they listening to it more?" I'm like, "Yeah, he likes it. He doesn't really listen to it on his own." He's like, "Yeah, I do. I got From Now On in my playlist and Sonic Adori." And he lists off something else, but he loves From Now On. It's just a great fucking song, dude. He's like, "That song." They also
awesome. Did I love that they did the obviously BAND-MAID live newbie. I mean, we all are to an extent. But yeah, you guys saw them a lot more times than I did beforehand. When they played Freedom at all the shows, did they always break down into the middle, that sort of bridge where everybody takes their own turn and does a solo?
I don't think they did in New York.
On
the set list, New York and Philly doesn't have it. I think in those they did a solo extended intros for like No God.
No, they played it at Philly. They definitely played Freedom at Philly. I don't know why I wouldn't.
No, they played Freedom, but they didn't do the solo.
Well, no. Okay, so they did do the drum solo in Philly. I have that on film, but it wasn't to the same extent as the one that they did in Jersey, which I filmed both of them, and it was as if they like cut the one in Philly like it was like half as long as the one in Jersey or something like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and like what.
I was going to say, to add what you're saying, though, just it's amazing, right, guys, that they're able to do a different kind of show for everyone, because now if you just went to one show, you got a unique experience. It's not the same boring fucking set over and over again. Not that it's boring at all. I'm sure if they play the same set every time, but the cool thing is everybody will have a unique experience from when they went, so they'll have something to talk about no matter what city you're in. If you watched in Dallas, your Dallas experience is going to be way different than somebody who watched it in Phoenix, or if you watched it in LA, it's going to be way different than New York City. Like, I think that's what's really cool about the whole thing. And this is the first band I've ever seen multiple times ever. This is the most seen band I've ever seen, ever. I've never done this before. So I don't know if this is something that other bands do or not. I have no clue. I do know from when I saw Nemophila, I saw them twice, and it was pretty much kind of the same, but different songs, because Aftershock was way different than Whiskey Go-Go, but it felt like there was something unique, and they tried to do stuff with the emceeing. They did unique things on the city also, which I think a lot of bands will do, but like I said, I'm not familiar with it. I think Ryan's probably seen more bands that probably multiple times. I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
Well, for me personally, I think I've probably seen, I don't know, like 20 bands multiple times, and I would say that like even a band like In Flames, what I would consider my favorite band of all time, doesn't even come close to what I saw with BAND-MAID when it comes to one, the accuracy of what they were playing first and foremost. Like there's something that happens when you go to a live show where like even if you listen to a band a lot, sometimes it all blends together, right? It just becomes one big show. It's almost like hard to pick out, oh wait, what song is this that they're playing right now? Like, you know, you're 30 seconds in and you're going, wait, which one is this? I'm not really sure until they get to the chorus maybe and you go, oh yeah, that's right, this one. And like when I go to see these other bands, like I mean, I could probably, God forbid, In Flames, Killswitch Engage, Black Sabbath. I've seen all these bands like over 4 times each, right? And I feel like they play mostly the same show if you see them in the same year. Like if you see them in October and then you see them in November, they're playing the same show. BAND-MAID didn't feel like that. Like I got a totally different experience from Philly than I did from Jersey, and it's not. We'll talk about the venue in Jersey in a second because that was
just I definitely want to talk
so
about
different than everything else.
But
the actual songs that they played and the way that they talked to the audience, like I believe in Philly they actually had to cut a song out because the Philly audience was, because they only played 17 in Philly. I think they played 18 everywhere else, or was they played 16 in Philly and 17 everywhere else, something like that.
Yeah, it started out 18, went 17, then down to 16.
Everyone was cheering for Bananas for too long.
Shit's Bananas.
I think I took some of the time. Banana. Banana. I love how they say it. It's so funny how they put the emphasis on the middle A. But yeah, lots of bananas going on in this concert, but I really, really felt like I got a different experience in the 2 venues, which is not something I can say for most of the bands I've seen multiple times, at least in the same year. Obviously, if it's a different year, changes, but
yeah, it's like at the same times, it's really cool for fans because they know they got something unique. But then, if you only went to one, you're like, oh, I missed this song or that song. Like it's awesome though, because you're right though, because you know. Like I saw In Flames recently, and I had like one album of theirs for years and I loved it. So most of what I heard, I didn't know. So most of the variation came from the vocals, because when you hear fast guitar for 3 other bands before them, it's kind of hard to differentiate what's going on.
More fast.
It was still great, but yeah, being able to, you know, if you only went to one show, you saw something somebody else didn't see.
So it's more of an incentive to go to more shows, probably.
That's just, and they don't do that like blindly. They know what the fuck they're doing, you know. They're given each crowd a unique experience. And then with the Imagine time, same thing. It's always different. So, you know, not only do you have your own stuff to talk about, we have stories to share with other people about your band, and it just, you know, makes experience that much better.
Ryan, what other bands have you seen multiple times other than BAND-MAID?
What, like 311, Killswitch Engage.
How would you compare it in comparison to those bands, to the BAND-MAID stuff?
311 is a very underrated band, I think, because I mean they're old and they're not really popular, but they still sell out stadiums. They have huge shows they go on tour, and they have huge shows, and they're all insanely talented. Now, when I saw them, I saw them 3 times. They had a lot to pull from, so they'd change up set lists. But so I didn't see multiple times on like the same tour. I saw them different tours. But the songs they played, there's one song where they do a drum solo. On the album was a drum solo, and Chad Sexton would change up the drum solo, but it was similar for kind of each show. It was different from the studio, but you kind of knew. They're all incredible shows, but I would say, I mean, Killswitch is fucking great too. But they have moments where they do like these pinch harmonic fucking squeal battles, and it can go on for a while. Like the whole song they'll do it. So they have their moments too, you know. The one guitar player is a goofball and he runs around in like short shorts and a fucking cape. So I mean, surprisingly like entertaining for a really heavy, you know, hardcore band.
Killswitch is awesome. Let's just be real.
Dude.
Killswitch is fucking awesome.
I can't get
band,
into it, man.
And they're still going today.
I saw them at Aftershock, and I could not get into them. I was
really
well. They got Jesse singing with them now. I like Howard.
Yeah, Jesse's back.
Jesse.
Do you? Interesting.
Their new stuff I don't like. Is I was happy when Jesse's coming back, and I'm like, I don't like all that new stuff. But
Rick is saying on here, big change this year. On the last U.S. BAND-MAID tour, 2019, they had the same set list for every show. So that's interesting. So they got better. They made the show better, which is awesome. It's cool to see band.
Yeah,
making
not
the live
only
show
do
better.
they just make it better. I mean, they've got a larger discography now, right?
Yeah.
And they had to include the new songs. So I'm assuming that the one consistent, the main consistent between all of the shows is they probably played all of the new ones at all of them, right? Like Influencer, Unleash, From Now On, I think was at every show, right? I'm just assuming
they didn't do From Now On at Chicago, I don't think.
Oh, is that one of the ones they cut down on?
Yeah. But so they didn't play any instrumentals, but they had no Sonic Adore, no instrumentals. They had Rockin' Me, and then
they didn't do either of the instrumentals in Chicago.
No, they didn't.
So okay, so here's something I'll say about the instrumentals. I thought that From Now On sounded way better than Onset did live. I don't even know why exactly. When they played Onset, it took me a little while to figure out which song they were playing, I think. And once I realized it, I was like, oh, cool, this is Onset. I'm surprised they're actually like still playing this song, because I hadn't looked at any of the set lists before I went into this.
Yeah.
So I was just like, because I wanted like a fresh take, right? So so when they started playing Onset, I was like, oh, what the hell is this? Like, it's been so long since I've actually listened to Onset,
Yeah.
And when I realized, I was, oh, cool, this is really cool, this sounds good, blah 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 blah. But then they immediately went into From Now On after Onset, and From Now On to me stood above it. And I love Onset.
Yeah, it showed how simple Onset is. Onset is it's a simple song. Like I've played it. I've played it actually correctly. And it's a fun song to play, and I will always love the song, but From Now On is fucking crazy, man. And hearing it right after Onset, I was super happy when Onset started. When I saw him, I'm like, oh my god, I get to see it live. And I know like every second of it, you know what I mean? And then From Now On started, and I was just like dumbfounded staring at Konami because of everything she pulls off.
Hey, what did you guys think of Hate when that came on? Because I hadn't heard it yet, and then when I first heard it live, man, I fucking fell in love with that song.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that, man.
That song got more aggressive as the shows progressed because they started playing Hate like every time. And I'm like, oh my god, the song keeps getting better and better every time I hear it.
And they play it for the first time at New York.
Yep. What a perfect venue.
Yeah, they didn't play it at
Ryan,
Philly, right?
What a perfect venue for them to play Hate. That's all I'm gonna say.
They played it because of me. Explain later.
It's such a good song.
Yeah, they didn't play it at Philly, and so when they played it at Jersey,
Champ's cutting out. You just cut out and froze.
It took me. That was another.
Hey, Champ, you're gonna have to repeat everything you just said because we didn't hear. And he's still cutting out. So, your internet's cutting out. But anyways, I think he was talking about Philly. We'll wait till he comes back. Okay, there he is. Now he's looking smooth. All right, go ahead, Champ. What were you saying?
Hello.
You got cut out. The whole Philly thing we didn't hear.
Okay, well, it wasn't that important. Just that I was saying Hate. They didn't. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I didn't recognize it at first at all when we got into at the New Jersey show. I was just like, what the fuck song is this? Like, it sounds so familiar. I couldn't put my finger on it or whatever until she started saying that she hates you or hates me or whoever she's talking to, right? And then I was like, oh, this is fucking Hate, bro. And then like as soon as I realized it, I got like super into it, and then by the time the song ended and she's just like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I was just like my fist pumping in the air. Yeah, I hate them too. Tell them.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those assholes. But I thought it was awesome. It was so cool that they actually added that in towards the end too. Like who does that? Who adds in a song into their set list like towards the end of the leg of their tour, man? Like, because they weren't playing it at any of the other shows. They just suddenly start playing in the last couple shows. It's like fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the Jersey show more than the Philly show. Just in general. I thought that so let me just explain the venue for anybody that is not aware of what this venue was. It's literally in a mall, like a literal mall. It's called the American Dream Mall in
Yeah.
New Jersey, and it is like the fanciest mall I've ever been to. I mean, you like walk in and there's like golden sphinxes like greeting you at the door as you walk past Saks Fifth Avenue and Gucci and all this fucking crazy ass expensive stuff, right? So you're walking through this golden palace to eventually lead you into the most colorful room in the entire world, to the Nickelodeon universe, right? So you walk through this fancy mall, you get to the Nickelodeon universe. Now there's like colors splattered all over. There's a fucking theme park in there. There's a roller coaster literally just in there, and all these other rides and shit like that, right? The roller coaster is almost directly above the stage, like the way that it swoops around, it like goes above the stage and stuff like that. And because of the formation of this area, there's no walls on the sides, there's no ceiling, everything is super far away, right? So my immediate thought was, wow, they just built this little stage in the middle of this fucking mall, and there's no way that the acoustics are going to be any good. There's no walls to bounce anything off of. It's going to just spread everywhere, right? I was 100% wrong about that. The actual sound itself was probably better than the Philly show.
Wow.
Kind of blew me away. I thought that everything. Alan, you saw the first half of it. What'd you think of the sound at Jersey?
I didn't think it was as good. It felt like LA but times 4. And it was like,
was it really loud, or was it just
it was really loud.
It?
If you're right in front of it, you could hear it very well. Everything was really good. You walk away just a little bit though, it was very, very echoey. Champ was further up front. I was in the back on a podium and looking out to the crowd, and it was still good. It was very loud. It was the weirdest venue ever to me.
Weirdest ever. There are people literally riding the roller coaster as the show was going on.
Oh,
so
seriously.
It's like they're playing music, and you see these people above you just or whatever. They had to talk about it, like BAND-MAID was, they basically were forced into talking about what was going on, because there's no way that you don't see what's happening there, right? But it was cute. Like they were talking about, they wanted to know who was going on the roller coaster with them afterwards and stuff like that. So it was just a really intriguing place to see a show. I've never seen a show in a venue like that before. Now, Alan was towards the back and standing on a podium. I was like right up front. The sound right up front was perfect. Now, because of the acoustics and the lack of the walls and stuff like that, I didn't venture out. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to lose my spot. I had, pretty much everywhere I walked in that place, somebody would be like, "Hey, Champ, what's going on?" Right? There are people like in the middle of the crowd, like these two guys. I'm standing on the side, and these two guys are like, "No, Champ, come over here, like get closer, blah blah blah." So they gave me their spot, and that was really nice. I'm sorry, friends, I forgot your names, but I really appreciated that. And so they brought me and my son in to watch from like right in front of Konami's amp, and from that perspective, the sound was flawless, 100% flawless, to the point where, like, even though Miso was on the other side, I still heard everything that Miso was doing. I heard everything that everybody was doing. That was one of the best sounding shows that I've been to in a really, really long time, and I can't even explain to you why acoustically it worked so well, because logically it doesn't seem like it should. Alan, obviously, he had a little bit of a different experience. I guess it's all determinant on where you were standing in the audience. But I just thought it was so fun to see everything up close like that. And the venue did allow for you to, unlike a lot of the other venues that I see bands at, you don't have to be shoulder to shoulder if you don't want to be. You can spread as much as you want to. It was as comfortable as you could be watching a band at a venue, quote unquote, a venue, right? So it's like, it had its pros and cons. Obviously, it changes the sound depending on where you're standing, but like if you get in the right spot, it was 100% flawless, and I loved every instant. I like that show more, for sure, just from a sound perspective. There was this one moment, I will say, that I locked eyes with Miss Konami. See, I didn't get to have this this up close and personal experience you guys had to have. So I had to like invent my own.
Ryan really
right?
locked eyes, like for real locked eyes.
Yeah,
That's
they like locked eyes and like start crying and like, you know, blah 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 blah. Mine was, please notice me, please, please, for the love of God, I'm standing right here, please notice me. And in the middle of one of Konami's solos, because I was so close to her, right? Like in the middle of one of her solos. So she walks up and she's standing on her amp. She puts her foot on her amp. And I'm just like freaking out. I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. And I noticed nobody else around me is even moving. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? And she looks at me and I just said, Konami, I fucking love you. And I made a big heart. And she like, she was like staring at me while she was playing the solo. And then she just like gave me like a quick like smile and a nod. And then the guys next to me were like, oh, she knows Mr. Man. And I was like, yeah, I know. Type of thing. But it was just really cool, man. Like, and I thoroughly enjoyed just, and the ease of access to the venue. I got to mention it once. The parking lot was literally like 5 feet away from the actual the mall itself. So of all of the shows that I've ever gone to, there's no like there was no waiting, you know what I mean? Like there was no walking far to find the place or anything like that. It's
Nice,
like you walk right in and you're at the show. Fucking amazing, right? So ease of access. I mean, one of the best shows that I've ever been to, right there.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's pretty much all. I met Captain Dusty over there. I met Alan was over there, and it took them back to their hotel afterwards. And my son, like I said, my son came with me this time. This was the first concert that he'd ever been to in his whole life, not just BAND-MAID, just any concert ever. I'd been trying to get his mom to let me take him to a concert forever. She finally said yes. I finally took him, and he had just the best experience. And as soon as I dropped Alan, you, and Dusty off at the hotel afterwards, he said, so are they coming back? And I said, well, yeah, of course. He was like, are we going to see them again? I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to. And he was like,
cool,
are there, and he goes, are there any other bands coming? I was like, Nemafila is going to be here. And he was like, oh, Nemafila, let's go to that show too. And I was like, all right, man, I built it. Like I built this with my own 2 hands. Here he is. He's becoming one of us. So that was ultimately, as much as I love the band and I love meeting you guys, like the most fulfilling experience for me was to introduce my son to great music, great live music, and have him have such a profound and positive experience with it. It was just like, it warmed my heart, man. It felt like I did some dadding right, you know?
Cool. When I took Elliot to his first show, we went and saw In Flames. And so he was, I mean, Vendetta was already playing when we got in there. And I walked in first and I turned around. I just want to see him feel music for the first time like that. And he walked in and he just got this huge smile on his face. Like, what is this? Cause he never heard volume like that.
Yeah.
And then, so we, 4 bands, 4 heavy fucking bands, way heavier than he usually listens to. And he loved it. I had him get in the pit. Go ahead, man. You're still like, your bones will bend at this point. But it wasn't that crazy, man. They just went around a few times. He came out. And so when we went to see BAND-MAID, I was like, well, that's the way you think, man. How's it compare? And he's like, oh, I like this better. Like he liked BAND-MAID better. I think it's just, I don't know why, I think it's just, it might've been more fun and easier to kind of follow the music.
Yeah, probably.
But it's a completely different environment. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I did notice like the there was no like pits, at least not at the shows that I went to, right? Like there was like a quick little like mosh pit circle thing that started for like a couple seconds and it was over, right? But
yeah,
the main thing that I noticed was, and also by the way, the demographic at the 2 shows I went to were very different, like vastly different.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about this at Philly, because when I went to Philly, it was just like, it was a bunch of us. It was just a bunch of like older white dudes, right? Like, and you guys were telling me that like the night before or whatever, that in DC or whatever, was like a totally different experience.
Yeah.
There was like, the demo was split more.
There was, the shows themselves were different, but it was, because I think by even Boston, it was probably one of the most diverse crowds. Men, women, young, teenagers, boys and girls. And there was a lot of ethnic diversity too. It was really cool to see because, I assumed it was going to be a bunch of like you said, like us, older white guys going to the show, because that's a lot of the comments and stuff, and on Discord, a lot of that. But as it got closer to the show, more and more people started joining the Discords, and it was really cool to walk up and just be like, "This is a very good. It's a wide swath of culture going to see these shows, and it's really cool to see, because there's people from all over the goddamn world coming just to see them."
True. I mean, the New Jersey one was really diverse in the sense that it felt to me like in Philly, everybody that went there, like for the most part, knew who they were, and they were going there to see BAND-MAID. And the show in Jersey felt way more like I talked to a bunch of people there, and almost everybody there had somebody that didn't listen to BAND-MAID with them.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot more. It definitely skewed a lot younger. First and foremost, the show in Jersey was, I mean, probably like a 15-year difference at average. Wow. And way more girls there also. And then also way more people that have never listened to BAND-MAID before. So I actually loved that show because I heard so many people just talking about how great the show was. I didn't know them all, so I didn't know how many of them like had actually seen it before, but I heard a couple people at least talk about how this was their first time seeing BAND-MAID, and that they thought it was really, really good too. Like, I feel like the Jersey show really built some new fans.
I think so. That's probably because you're talking about how easily accessible it was. Probably had a big play in that. Like, it's not a big deal to go there and watch it, as opposed to traveling into a fucking city and finding parking or somewhere to stay or whatever.
100%. Also, on the last day, I checked the prices on the last day, and there's only $16 to get in.
Yeah, wow.
So if you wanted to see BAND-MAID in Jersey, you could have gotten there for less than a tank of gas. You know what I mean? So because it was I mean, they said it was a 4,000 person venue, right? Like, that was what they kind of call themselves. Oh, we got a venue, 4,000 people. I mean, it's a fucking mall. You could fit 100,000 people in there if you really want to. You know what I mean?
But like, were there.
Yeah, I would probably. I don't think that. I mean, actually, watching the show itself, I would say less than 1,000 people, right, Alan? Like, few
yeah, there wasn't that many. No wonder why there was still tickets available. So I think with that show, since it was a very open space, you could technically fit like thousands of people in there because you have so much
technically.
Room. I mean, I was tempted to go on a roller coaster to watch BAND-MAID from a roller coaster. That would have been pretty funny.
Dude, I wanted so badly to get a video from. So there's this other ride that was
we forgot to do
the
that
stage. Yeah, that like shoots up, and then you like stay at the top for a while before they drop you. You know that ride that's at like every theme park? It goes up, and then you wait like 30 seconds, and it just drops you down real fast. Kind of goes back and forth a little bit. I so badly wanted to get on that fucking ride and film them from there, because you would have gotten like this high angle shot directly down onto them, but I didn't want to lose my spot. So I wasn't willing to like, wait or whatever, like, miss any of the show in order to do that. But it would have been a really cool photo opportunity, I think. And there were also like, because there was a balcony behind them, there was like some people, I don't know how they got there, but there were some people watching from behind and looking down. I thought that would have been a really cool experience also. Like, just the bird's eye view of the concert type of thing. But so it was a really cool venue. It was really cool in the sense that I enjoyed it. It was really weird in the sense that it wasn't a venue at all. It wasn't actually a musical venue.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be inside of a park at all. I think people that saw photos of it were thinking the same thing. Like, wait a second, this is not there.
I wonder if BAND-MAID knew. Like, that was my first thought. Like, did they know what they were getting into in this situation? I hope they didn't have to pay like,
because if I was playing
a lot of money to get there or anything like that, to like rent out the venue to play.
Because if somebody was like, you're playing this show, and I showed up to play there, I'd be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Seriously, that'd be weird.
So how do you guys? So there's a lot of like controversy back and forth between fan cams. And obviously, Ryan, I've had experience in both ends with dealing with fan cams where Ryan has been blocked off by a fan cam the entire show. I did some fan cam myself, but I had a particular way I do it, so I don't block anyone. But overall, what do you guys feel about fan cams? I asked our audience also. I put a chat in there. I spelled concerts wrong. Go figure. But well, what do you guys think? Start with you, Ryan.
I think there's a place for them. There's no doubt that fan cams have had a huge part of expanding their fan base, especially during COVID and the last few years, where you have people that are taking very nice shots and they're getting, you know, decent quality and sound. Obviously Vladimir's one of them that does that. And so I think they're valuable, but I think people need to, here's the thing about fan cams. How many pictures and videos do you take in your normal life that you never fucking look at again? And I understand being there and be like, oh, I want to catch this solo, and you get it, but you're not going to like watch it over and over and be like, man, this is so cool. Like, probably not. And if you're just taking like one song or whatever, and you're not watching your phone, you're just doing it because you can, as opposed to doing it to like have some history. You know what I mean? There's some people that, you know, that and it's not just Vladimir. There's a lot of people out there that took some really good shots, but you can tell it's like chest level or eye level where they're looking at it and they're not blocking somebody else
because it's looking up. It's looking up when you do it like that. Yeah.
If you're not getting something that is gonna, you know, be significant, then put it down and just watch the show, man. And I'm not saying just to be a dick. There's people that are getting good footage, and you're gonna enjoy that more than your 30 seconds of a song. You know,
yeah.
I have no problem. You want to throw your phone up there and get a picture of a moment? Fuck yeah, dude. I got some of those, even though they're shitty pictures. I still got them.
Yeah.
But there's a time where it was Chicago. I was sitting in the back in the VIP section, of course, and I look out and it was just a sea of fucking screens. It's like every one of those is blocking somebody else, you know. And it's like, you know, they put them up for a solo, which somebody else is really waiting for, and you're just blocking it because.
Oh yeah, I can see that
for whatever. So, you know, I that's my thoughts.
Well, like,
if you're not getting something that's going to be worth watching later, then what's the fucking point?
That's a really good point. And for me, what I did, and I recommend this to anybody, because maybe some people don't even know. I hate to say it, there's some people that are just completely unaware of their surroundings, no matter
definitely.
what. This is my advice to y'all. If you have the video, you can hold your arms in like this. And that's what I did. And then I just tilt it up if you're near the front. Then you're not blocking anyone behind you. And and you could, like Ryan said, you could tell when it's chest view and fucking arm up in the air view. Yeah. For sure, 100%. What do you think, champ?
I wouldn't have filmed anything if I wasn't filming for my channel at all. Like,
right.
I'd prefer to just be in the moment in general. But I don't really... I mean, it was so prevalent in the two shows that I saw, people filming the shows. And then even before that, I mean, the amount of fan cams that were on YouTube that I was getting recommended, it was just like dozens and dozens of them every day.
Too much now.
Yeah, it just like it diluted it for me. I didn't watch any of them. I just chose not to turn on any of them because, again, I wanted to be like kind of surprised and in the moment the first time I went. But it's hard to complain when there's like everywhere you look, they are. They're there, you know. It's just a part of the atmosphere at this point. I will say it was a little agitating, you know, when you've got somebody that's like, you know, 6'4", standing in front of you, and then they're also holding the phone over their head and they're blocking like you know, a fucking 7.5 foot vertical.
I want to do that to
like,
troll someone now, just for fun, just be like,
nobody can see that.
I'd probably completely cover Miku if I did that.
Well, and like Alan said, there's some people that they may not think about that. They're not doing it to be dicks. They're trying to get a moment for themselves. But if you're like this, then you got not only whoever can see above you is getting blocked, but there's 2 or 3 people on either side of you that they're trying to look between your fucking head and your elbow, or they got to try and move, which is, you know, it's I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it's part of going to concerts at this point. Like I can't remember the last time that I've been to a concert where people aren't doing that, you know. And like I said, I think it's personal preference. It can be agitating when it you know, blocks your view or whatever. But again, like, you know, somebody being taller than you can block your view also. There's all kinds of things that can obstruct your view. So like, I'm not going to get totally on the case of the people that are like filming and stuff like that. Obviously, we all did that because we had specific reasons to do it, you know, regardless. But it is what it is. I'm an it is what it is type of person.
I gotta say,
it comes to that stuff.
Like, from doing these shows, I learned a lot. Like, for for me, I've never been to this many live concerts and never went to a lot of live concerts because I've never been a fan of going to live concerts. This is the first band like that's motivated me to actually go to concerts, and mainly is because of meeting everybody. And that was exciting to me to like talk with other people about the band, because other bands I've seen before, I'd always go by myself. I could never get a friend to go, and that was the best part of it. So for me, it was like a lot of learning experience, like when to film, not to film. You know, I already knew ahead of time, like make sure I'm not fucking being an asshole. And just being respectful, you know, just being respectful of the people that are around you as much as possible. And then, you know, guys, don't get mad. Don't assume. There could be a reason why. What I tell everyone, tap on the shoulder, hey, man, you're blocking my way. Goes a long way. A lot of people just stand there and get angry and upset and do nothing about it. Honestly, just tap them and be like, hey, you know, if you don't mind, I can't see that well, you know, do the motions, do it nicely. I guarantee you they'll stop doing it. I did it for my wife at the Avatar show, and they gladly put it down because she's shorter. Then after that, I put her on my shoulders because they let us do it there at the time. But that's besides the point. I've never had anybody say, fuck you, no, and kept filming yet. I've only asked 8 people total, so it depends.
And let's follow up on that in general. I felt that at the 2 shows I went to, especially Philly. I mean, if you've ever spent any time in Philly, you know that it's not exactly the nicest, not nice as in like dirty.
I can see over everyone at Philly, so
the people in Jersey, and I mean in Philly, can be a little bit short-tempered. Let's just say, right?
Yeah.
And but inside the venue, with those people, I had the same experience that I did in Jersey, where people can also be a little, you know what I mean? But everyone was so polite and respectful of the band and the people around them. It was like something to marvel at. Honestly, it's something that we shouldn't just gloss over, because I've been in a ton of shows where people can be rude and obnoxious, and like, you know, you find that person that's in the pit that's just, you know, there's no pit, but they're throwing their elbows and knees around anyway, like trying to, like, you know, knock people off their feet like a douchebag, right? Like there was none of that here. Every single person, like when BAND-MAID went to talk, everyone shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? They're like, we're listening to you. And even there were some moments where I am sure, because I didn't also, nobody understood what the fuck they were saying. Like there's a couple moments where like they're like their Japanese is or their accent is a little bit too thick, and you know that nobody understood what they just said.
Yeah.
But everybody still responds in the appropriate way as to like what they should have responded anyway. It's just so polite.
There was a couple moments, I think it was DC, where Miku mentioned Abraham Lincoln. And everybody's like, what? Like, and she knew like it didn't land, like the joke didn't land. And she's like, let me see. She tried to like, say it again. And like, we should laugh. I know we don't know what's going on. We should laugh.
Everybody's going to laugh along anyway, though. Everybody's playing along.
Yeah,
remember the clam chowder? Where was it? The clam chowder joke. She added something different for every show.
Oh yeah, it was the cheesesteaks in Philly. But everybody did respond to the cheesesteaks. They were like, hell yeah. Now, we love a good cheesesteak over here.
Also, last comment on the fan cam thing, just a warning to people, it's technically not allowed at a lot of these venues, and they can go take it down from your YouTube page. Just giving you guys all the heads up. And because somebody was mentioning about having a fan cam area, it's because technically it's not allowed, but nobody enforces it. That's the problem.
They know
that's
everybody's got a fucking phone. What cracked me up is like I had my Canon camera I have here. I intended to take a bunch of interviews and shit, and I'm just not that dude. I just didn't do it. So I'd bring it with me, and I have to like stash it somewhere for the show because I couldn't bring it in. It's like no professional cameras. It's like, dude, everybody's phone here is going to get just as good a footage as my fucking camera is. You know, it's like there's got to be a point where they're going to realize, well, like if everybody had a camera like mine, you know, look through it, see what's being filmed. It'd probably be better for everybody around you.
Yeah, the new phones like record shit in like 4K. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's gonna look fucking great. It's gonna sound great regardless. Shouldn't matter what kind of cam you're rocking in there. I would say that like if there was a designated area for filming, that they did allow for, like, say this is the only place that you're allowed to deploy your phone. I feel like nobody would go there. Nobody would be in that area because who wants to be surrounded by other phones?
You've had a few dedicated people that would get like a quality shot, and then not a sea of shit to wade through.
Yeah,
maybe like you know Vladimir be there, maybe me or Alan at a show would be there, you know, with the
But if everybody
Proper
starts
setup.
going over there, right, to do
I
the
mean,
same thing, then it just becomes a bunch of people
they-
holding up their phones in front of each other.
They already
Yeah.
have a system in place, technically. I mean, you saw the people, which were really respectful, right? Of the people up front, they were able to. Now, if I had a room to do that, I would have done what they were doing. Where the Atushi was filming, he would like duck down and go like this throughout the show, and he run through. So that's what those areas are technically for. We just need to get press passes, which I just learned about, and that's my point. Like, I didn't know I could get press passes until New York City. I was like, okay, cool, and then I started submitting for them, and I think that's the best way to do it. So, Vladimir, I love how you film and stuff, man. You should look into getting press passes, I think, every show. And I think that is technically your designated fan cam area, even though it's not fan cam because it's going to be professional. Just getting the permission. If you get that, then you don't have to worry. There's no, you know, I don't know.
They're
if
still like
this or not.
super concerned about blocking people's views. Even their cameramen, they're like, we don't want to block anybody's view. So that's, you know,
But
you can really see them going back and forth in front because they were like crouched down.
Yeah, they're like da-da-da-da, like going back and forth.
Yeah, I'm like, I couldn't run across there, crouched out of the way anyway.
Ryan could not get in there.
I was like, nope.
What, you didn't want to bend down
I couldn't do it,
and run
and I would have
across?
to dodge people. Yeah, what's this idiot doing?
Ryan, I'm so curious. Well, one of the shows we haven't talked about yet, I didn't get a chance to go to this one. Neither did Champ. I want to know about the Chicago show, man. How was that? I know I haven't even watched fan
So
cam
the last
yet.
stop in their tour, right?
Yeah, last stop
it
on the
was the
tour.
last
How
one.
did that go down? And I hope people put on a blast for them to come back for more, you know?
Well, I mean, it was. I don't know. I can't say the same thing I said about every show. It was great. They didn't play the instrumentals. They didn't play Sonic Katori. They
Anything
changed
special?
up like with Psyche's Japanese lesson. It was Miku instead of Konami. It was a lot more different than I think other shows were different each other. And we were all hoping for like About Us or something big like that. It didn't happen. But you know what? They were, like I was talking about Psyche's vocals, how as more shows happened, she was more and more into it. She was into it and put everything she had into it. And I don't know, man. It was great. The sun off was great. The crowd was great. You could tell they were, I was sitting a decent, I was behind everybody standing at a table because I got lazy. And but there's accounts of Akane repeatedly having to, like, you know, kind of wipe tears out of her eyes because she's getting emotional and you know, Miku and Konami and stuff. So they definitely felt it, man. They felt the love of all the fans because it was just given to them at every show. And I know they saw a lot of the same people up front every time, and that they see that and they love that too. You know, it's to see that amount of dedication coming from when you travel across one huge country from one side to the other, and you see some of the same people, everyone, but you also see a huge diversity in the crowd. I don't know how that's gotta just, it's gotta feel great, you know? And the response is when Psyche says jump, you fucking jump. When she says clap, you clap, you know? And the Imaginary time, it was just, I don't know. It had to be, we gave them everything we could.
Yeah.
Was that
part in that case, was it more special for that show, that Chicago show, since it was the last one?
I don't know, man. I think they just did what they do, but it was just everybody knew it was the last show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They still they changed it up to be more specific for the show, but different where they were and talking about Chicago. And
how'd you feel when it ended?
That
must have been bittersweet for you, like, because it's the last, because you were there for the last one. So
yeah, it was. I missed. I wanted to be able to go up and see some of the crew again because we talked with them quite a bit in New York and Boston. It just didn't happen. And then the way the venue was laid out in Chicago too is once everybody was in there, you couldn't just get around.
Yeah.
So I was disappointed in myself for not like making an effort to talk to Atsushi again or somebody, but it was kind of bittersweet. It's like, man,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
yeah, we had that special moment, and then like I couldn't follow up with anything. It's like, well, I guess that's it.
At least
home.
the moment will live forever, my friend.
Yeah, I'm no way complaining, but it was just it's like I didn't want to accept it. I guess is
Yeah.
it was strange.
So let me
We're
ask
gonna
you guys something. Go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say, before we're going to talk about the GNR show. Of course, none of us were able to go there. And we're going to talk about the BAND-MAID shows again with Wave. Wave was sick, so hope he feels better. So I'm wishing him the best and he's get better. I forgot to mention why Wave is not on here. And I have a feeling I'm about to say the same thing you're going to say, Champ. I'm not sure, but let me know if I'm wrong. I was going to say, let's just wrap this part up and we'll move on to the GNR show and just give our overall thoughts of the concert. And I was going to start with you, Champ. Or is that kind of what you're going to say?
I was actually going to ask about the GNR show. Yeah.
All right. So overall thoughts. Give your 1 minute rating. Go.
Of the GNR show, I didn't see it. Like,
No,
did you
of
guys see
your BAND-MAID experience.
Oh, we're wrapping this up.
Yeah, wrapping up.
So, all right, 1 minute thoughts. Absolutely fire. Enjoyed pretty much every moment of it. I think my favorite song that they played overall at the two venues was between two of them, either Domination or Influencer. And, like, from now on was amazing, don't get me wrong. Like, I know I was talking really highly of it, but without the since there's no vocals, I want to give credit to the ones that do have vocals in them also. I hear music in the background. What the hell is going on?
That's supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just giving you that good background music.
Oh,
Okay, it was just like
Were
totally
you sad
throwing
that
me
your
off.
favorite song wasn't played?
Chemical Reaction? Didn't you hear my entrance music? But as I walked into the Philly venue, they were playing Chemical Reaction over the
So
loudspeaker.
you're playing now, Alan.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I didn't even.
I was very disappointed they didn't play that. I wanted to hear it so bad.
It went over your guys' head. It was hilarious. I just see the
Yeah.
chat laughing out loud.
No, every time I
It
talk,
kept
it
cutting
cuts
out.
out. So
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. But yeah, of course, there you go. My entrance music is back again. Yeah, so they didn't play it. They didn't play it. That was okay with me. But they did. The universe did make sure that it was in my life, at least a little bit. But yeah, ultimately, great concert. Great, just overall positive experience for everybody that I was with, that was involved. And I just, I'll do it again next year if we can.
Are you sure? Are you going to go to more shows next year, Champ? That's the question I have for you.
More than the two?
Yeah. Would you go to more than two?
I mean,
It's a lot of effort, man.
Listen, I love concerts. I love seeing the bands that I love, right? Like, and ultimately I will see them multiple more times in my lifetime, probably another 10, 15 times. But in the course of one tour, I'm cool with two, maybe three, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd see as many again. We'll see what situation is when it arises, but
Yeah. Ryan, you're going. We're going to all of them next time.
I think
Don't
that it's going to be
lie.
bigger venues too. So we're gonna have to like be one of the fucking dawn patrol and be there like crazy motherfuckers in the morning because there's going to be a lot more people at wherever they play.
Yeah, for sure. So I was going to say, we'll jump onto the GNR show. They had put a sample up on the site. I'm going to play that real quick. And to me, it looked like quite a bit of people. I can't really see it. Ryan has a little bit more information about it, but let me play this little clip of the GNR.
Fuck yeah.
That place looks huge.
Yeah, dude, that is a lot of people in the crowd.
I don't.
Looks like it. There's one, Peter Lim tagged me on Twitter, and it's from the side.
I mean, that looked like way more than any of the shows we saw. To me, but maybe that's just me looking at it because I don't know. But you said
No,
you
like
had a
that-
side view.
Yeah, side view, and there were some empty spots, but like I said, there was probably more people than where it any of the shows we saw, even if it was a little bit scattered to begin with, because it's so huge. But
Yeah.
that shot looked great. Like, if that's the last one, some people might have filtered in and caught the end of it.
Yeah. I was
But
really
their
excited
set
for
list,
him.
yeah, the set list was interesting. They start out with From Now On, and then it was all kind of older stuff. They didn't do anything else that was new. Like, they tailored it for the crowd, you know?
Yeah, because they did From Now On, Dice, Domination with long solos, Choose Me, Manners, Daydreaming, and Real Existence.
Awesome.
No Chemical Reaction, Champ, sorry.
Shame.
But, because, with the recent stuff being pretty popular, I was surprised they didn't do Unleash or something. But they really, they read the fucking room.
Yeah, it's that the songs that you just listed off definitely fit more of the GNR style, I think, than anything off their new album. Although I did want to say that I thought the songs off their new album were some of the best songs that they played.
Even
live.
the Unleash
Oh, yeah.
EP, even the Unleash, I thought those were some of the best ones because they
Oh, yeah.
I
That's what I'm talking
remember
about,
in.
yeah, Unleash.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. When you said album, I thought Unseen
that's their new
World.
album.
I know.
Unseen World was last time, bud.
That's
You're a
not-
couple years
It's
late.
an
I
EP.
consider-
It's not technically an album.
Yeah, it's not an album in my
Whatever.
head,
It's the
so
last
that's
one.
why I made that assumption.
I see.
My
I
bad.
see.
My
Gotcha.
bad. But
So
go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna move on to the bullshit of Guns N' Roses making Loudness and BAND-MAID jack up the prices on their merch because they were too cheap. That's what the word is. Like, they had their prices and they made them raise them up because they're getting a cut of it.
Well,
Why would they do that? Is
Because they're
GNR getting a
dicks.
split of the merchandise?
That's
from
what
other
it
bands?
seems like. I'm sure there's more information that people have gotten from this morning, but they showed pictures of their merch with the original price taped out and then a higher price taped on. And from what I understood, BAND-MAID, they usually have to charge like a tax or something for the bags to carry the merch in, and they took that away to try and compensate for what they had to raise their prices with. They didn't charge for any bags or anything.
man, I
Guns N'
wonder.
Roses,
we need
making
more
people pay more
information,
money.
though.
Shocker.
I would say we
Yeah.
need more information because there's a lot that goes into big festivals and venues like that where they get a cut, and because it's not like in the States, there probably wasn't much of that going on like it was there. Because that's a very huge concert. That's like a fucking the
Yeah,
GNR
maybe
concert
talking
was
out of the
huge.
line. It's speculation.
It's
But I'm
speculation.
not surprised some shit went down with Guns N' Roses.
We just it's just that's the problem when you have a bad reputation though. Like
Yeah, it is, man.
This
sucks,
is what I was talking about.
you know.
Yeah.
So
This is what I was talking about when everybody was like, no, it's ultimately gonna be like, they get to play with Guns N' Roses. All I was thinking is, yeah, but if anything, even remotely
like merch jacking up
negative
prices.
happens, yeah, then it's all gonna get like overblown big time, and like it's gonna look bad type of thing. But I haven't. I mean, this just happened, but I haven't heard anything terrible yet. That is not the worst thing that could have happened.
No, the fact they're trying to help people out by not charging for something they usually charge for. That's the BAND-MAID
Yeah.
fucking way, dude. They care.
We're never
But
gonna
at
know
least
unless
Guns
we
N'
see the
Roses showed up.
contract, though. Like we have to see the contract, how that works, how it splits up, because it could be something where they put all the merch in one. Like Aftershock, I know for sure because when I was talking to the venue guy, what they do is they offer up their merch there and then they sell it and they keep track of it through transactions. That's how they did it there. But they have a specific amount of merch to get. Because when I was trying to get merch at Aftershock, everything was like gone for. Nemophila, I think it was. Yeah, Nemophila. I know that's how it worked there. So every place is different. So people like saying that GNR just taking it. I don't know. Maybe. But we don't know. We would have to read their
Well,
contracts.
obviously, Axel, you're going to have to send us your contract. We will be
send
the
us your
judges of
contract
this.
so we see what's up. Because you
And
can't
leave
just,
leave the line blank.
can't
so
just
that we might
demand-
sign our names on it.
they probably made a mistake and they had to raise price. Because, I mean, if it's a big festival like that, normally what I've seen is they have to raise it for that. Because when I played Balloon Fest in here, we had to have specific prices. We were playing with Chevelle, and it was all part of a tent. And part of that contract is we had to pay percentage to the festival, and we had to have a minimum price, and we couldn't have it too high. So we had a max price and a minimum price. But that's just here in El Paso, Texas. It's different everywhere. But
Yeah,
Does anybody
see.
know-
There's
guys-
letters out there explaining things, and I guess maybe I spoke too soon, but
Well, I'm reading.
Hey, you
here.
might be
There's-
right,
The band
there was a
tweeted about
tweet.
it. Yeah,
you might be right, though.
I don't know what the tweet says, but if we
trying to sort it out.
somebody sends that tweet over to us, then we could take a better, closer up look on it.
Oh, there's a fan
But yeah.
cam already of the entire GNR set.
Oh, is there?
I kind of want to hear that, man. Like, I want to know, not just for the sake of my interest in GNR, but just to know like what the two sounds were like together.
How good it sounds.
Yeah, like did BAND-MAID? It's a totally different venue, right? Like, did BAND-MAID sound better than GNR? You know what I mean? But like, also, did GNR just sound good at all?
Yeah,
People are going to think that I hate GNR. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, guys. I'm just very, very, 20 years of disappointments will do that to you.
20. That's a long time. You make me feel
And
better about the maximum hormone situation. It hasn't been 20 years yet. Once it hits 20 years, I'm dropping them. I'm kidding.
All right. Cool.
All right. Well,
I hope we see some clips from that though, eventually.
Yeah, for sure. We'll look into it. Ryan will.
And we were just talking about the fan cams, like, we were just talking about the fan cams. All I'm thinking now is I want to see a fan cam from that show now.
Brian says, judging by Twitter, there are a lot of new BAND-MAID fans thanks to GNR show. So,
awesome.
Hey, at that point, if it is true with the case of the money of GNR asking for it, fuck it, it's worth it, right?
Yeah, and merch.
That's the way I look at it.
A merch
my point
is not the worst thing in the world.
Right. My point was that they were, once they realized that they stopped charging for something they usually charge for, just to try and make it right. That was my main point.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan.
It wasn't the band's decision.
Okay.
You're saying like people were like,
I don't know if
it was
anybody's
BAND-MAID's decision, maybe.
I don't know, dude. I should
who
shut
knows?
up about it, I guess.
Again, speculation. Let's just be clear. We speculate a lot on this podcast.
I get what you're saying though, because I could see some BAND-MAID fans being like, "What the fuck? Why do they raise the prices on us?" When ideally it probably wasn't them at all, and most of the time it isn't them. That's what I think you were getting at.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
And I hit. I don't know.
Banana.
Banana.
Speculation, guys. Speculation. It's okay. People will still take this as facts, and that's fine. Because maybe they are facts.
Should we talk about the other news that's not?
Yeah, we got Japanese news.
Okay, here we go. Here's a tweet from BAND-MAID. All right,
Go,
from
Ryan.
the BAND-MAID tweet. It says, regarding the BAND-MAID product sales at today's Guns N' Roses Japan tour, some product prices have been changed due to the intention of the sponsoring artist side. So those who purchase will receive a special shopper, a bag. In addition, the start time was changed due to the circumstance of the event, and sales have already started. That was at 10:21. So, have been changed due to the intention of the sponsoring artist side.
Okay, that's Guns N' Roses. So they upsold the merchandise. They made sure that all the merchandise was a little more expensive, but BAND-MAID in return is offering a shopper. I don't know what that is.
They usually charge for a bag you can put your merch in. Like if you want a bag to carry your shit around in, you could buy a bag to do it.
Well, okay.
So in response to this, they gave the bag away without charging.
Okay, that's
anybody.
cool. That's nice of them, man. Like they really didn't have to do that. I mean, obviously they could have just said Guns N' Roses made us sell our merch for a more expensive price.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't even like maybe GNR's not even taking a cut from the merch. Like it could be. I've been in situations where that happens.
Beyond that, we don't know.
But it could also just be that they looked at the other ones and they were like, okay, well ours is like twice as expensive as other bands here. We have to make them sell theirs for more so that ours doesn't look like we're putting it out for so expensive.
Again, speculation, but
yeah. Again, that's why I said maybe it could be.
So
maybe it could be their dicks.
Yeah, it could be that. We know they are.
I'm wondering. So a lot of people, I kind of was thinking about this, and I see you guys in the comments talked about if it's good for BAND-MAID. I obviously think it's good for BAND-MAID, and I wonder how much younger people are following GNR though. That's my thing. What do you guys think about that?
In America, none. I would say that like zero, like less than 1% of the new generation knows anything about GNR outside of the movies. The music that gets played in movies nowadays.
I think the first new music they heard from GNR was fucking Chinese Democracy.
Yeah, and that was what, like 12 years ago, 13, something like that. It was like so long ago, man.
I don't know one song off of it.
I know Chinese Democracy. Like that's right. And honestly, I didn't even think that was that bad of a song, to tell you the truth. But it wasn't what old Guns N' Roses is, and I don't think that they're creating new fans by being there. Now, I will say that if maybe they're creating fans in Japan, that could be the case. Maybe it's different over there. In America, if Guns N' Roses played here, they might get some new people. I mean, I guess it's possible, but In Japan, it might be a totally different demographic. Maybe there's like a younger generation that's going to those shows, that's experiencing them for the first time, and that's going to help out with BAND-MAID over there. It's very possible. I just don't. I don't know how much it would do over here.
Yeah, so I'm going to say for the people that were saying like if it's more fans, but I really hope like if it is older generation, they have kids and they show their kids that. Like I showed my kids BAND-MAID.
And it's not bad that it's an older
Hormones, stuff
generation
like
either.
that.
Like we are all learning about new music now in our 30s and 40s, right? So it's and we're spending money on it. You know what I mean? And we're going to the shows, we're buying the merch. So obviously, like, it's not bad that it's an older generation, older demographic that would be getting into this a band like a Guns N' Roses, and then therefore also getting into BAND-MAID from the show. But it would be nice if a younger generation was getting into them also, so that they could show it off to their friends and it could become more
pretty sure
BAND-MAID
wasn't the plan the whole time. They added them like, hey, these guys just did a tour, sold out, let's fucking put them in front of these guys. Added, months ago. They sold out. I think they had one show planned, then they scheduled another one, and they put BAND-MAID in front of another band. To me, that says it was valuable for them to get BAND-MAID there. Or they thought it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's just me though. That's more.
I mean, BAND-MAID's pretty popular in Japan, right? Like they're doing pretty well out there, from what I understand.
Probably not.
Wasn't there Tokyo? Isn't there Tokyo show the biggest one?
What people are saying is like they're not as big as in Japan as they are in the US. I don't know how true that is. Well, according to Ray, he says that's the case, and according to some interview questions like from Nemophila, they were saying it's not as big over there. And I can't remember, I think there's a question we asked, right? That was similar to that. And they said it's not as big over there.
Didn't say that?
Yeah.
It's not that popular.
It's not that popular.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. I get a lot of people that comment on mine from Japan, like, thanks for introducing me to this band. I'm like, what? You're welcome.
I mean, that's like sort of like the whole problem, right? Like, because I think about BAND-MAID, right? And like the demographic that they target, and like how they can become, this band of a generation, which is what I think we believe that they can be, right? And if you look at America, this music just doesn't exist. It's just not it's not out there. It's not popular. If it is out there, nobody really knows about it. And it hasn't been for decades at this point, right? Like rock and roll music. Now, obviously BAND-MAID is integrated a lot of sort of progressive sounds, also progressive rock, progressive metal into their classic rock and roll field. But I still ultimately, at the end of the day, consider them to be a modernized classic rock band. And classic rock just isn't here, man. Like the people that are listening to it are us, the people that knew that it existed back then and are still enjoying it from that perspective. But
the differences we saw in the demographic at the live shows is kind of significant, I think. I think maybe because they're not old guys that are trying to hang on to their fitness playing this kind of music, that it brought in some younger people that hopefully, I mean, it could get them into other shit they hadn't thought of listening to, So I think as right as you are, there's also the fact that there was a surprising amount of young people at the shows.
Yeah.
I saw a more younger crowd at New Jersey show. I think that's the most youngest I saw.
Yeah.
Which was really cool.
I think that ultimately, like, it's not a problem with the music or the bands, or it's a problem with God. This could get, I'm not going to get totally psychological on you guys, but I really think that it has more to do with what is popular in the mainstream, the zeitgeist, removing that style of music from it so long ago that nobody is interested in bringing it back. But if they were exposed to it, I do believe that if people were exposed to it, then it would create new fans. I mean, there's a reason that you can look at the top 40 stations on FM radio and they're all shitting the bed right now. Like FM radio, I don't even know how much longer it can last. It doesn't get any viewership, doesn't get any listeners anymore. We've all moved on to like Spotify and Apple, iTunes, blah, 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 right? They play the same fucking songs that they've been playing for the last 10 years, and they're all just the same goddamn pop songs, and it never changes. And it's like, well, you know what? Maybe if they did throw in something that was a little bit more unique to what the times are saying is acceptable, right? Maybe if they did throw in fucking Manners on Z100 one day, you know what I mean? Maybe people would be like, oh shit, what was that? And be more intrigued by it and listen to it. And maybe it would change what is popular in mainstream.
So Vladimir, by the way, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. I didn't even know you could do that. So thank you for showing us that. That was awesome. Thank you so much for the support. He says, come on, good music is just good music. It's not about the age of the fans. Maybe it's just that older or more knowledge and tend to appreciate good music more. And I just want to say this. It's better to always have a diverse age range, in my opinion. We were talking about it. Let's end on a positive note here. The greatest thing is that the band realizes that also, because we saw that firsthand at the shows. They went up to the younger generation, passed out stuff specifically to them. So that just lays that seed, meaning they're going to show their friends, because now those kids are going to really appreciate the band more. They're like, oh, wow, they're going to remember that they got that drumstick or that pick. So I think it's always good to get younger fans involved and older fans and middle age. We always forget our age group. I guess us too.
Yeah. You know? But I mean, we're going to die eventually. You know what I mean? Like, eventually we are going to die, right? And I want my son's generation to take that mantle and spread it.
Exactly. So the good thing that BAND-MAID did that during their shows. They made an effort to recognize the younger fans that were at the crowd, and I think that'll spread it along, and that's really cool. Like SJ Nix just said in the chat, also older fans are going to spend more money. That helps support the band. So this is why I think you need diverse crowd.
You need both.
You need both. You need everyone. You need
but
everyone.
There is
to
a
like
reason. But there is a reason that like advertising companies and marketing companies go after the 18 to 34. Because
it's for the long term.
They're going to live longer.
They're going to live longer for the long term. I get that.
Because yes, it's great. We are going to spend money. 18-year-olds aren't spending money, right? But the target demographic for advertisers and marketers, and I'm not saying that this is even necessarily right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what it is. They're looking for that age group more than any other age group.
True.
Because they know that they're going to grow and they're going to continue enjoying this, and then they're going to be getting jobs, and then they're going to be spending their money.
You still need base support,
and they're going to do the same thing, right? So it's a big cycle that's ongoing. And if it stops with us, then it goes away forever. And we don't want to let that happen, right?
Yeah,
so it's not about how old we are now or how much money we're spending now, but we're looking towards the future, and we want it to keep going forever.
Yeah, exactly. My point was just you need a diverse group, and marketers will focus on that, and then you still need the base money to support it in the beginning, because if you don't have that base money to support them in the beginning. So I think it's going in the right trajectory, and I think the band realizes it too. And they're adding in more of the future or modern elements of music in their newer songs, right? We've been hearing more of a mix with beats and stuff in the background, a little bit more flows or talk, speaking, rap, whatever you want to call it. I love that they're adding more modern stuff to the new music, and I think that is just going to do nothing but help the band grow that audience also that Champ's talking about.
Yeah, and just keep spreading it for like everybody. Like just keep spreading it to everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's from our perspective. You know, don't let it stop at us. Tell the person next to you about
because there's an interesting thing that my son brought up to me. I forgot. You guys just reminded me. He came up to me. He's all like, he was watching this TikTok that was showing bands, and I hate to say this, I'm just letting you guys know this is what kids think of BAND-MAID right now, according to TikTok. This is according to TikTok. It says like which each group attracts, and it literally said the joke is they showed BAND-MAID on there and it said middle-aged white men. And like my son Chris showed this to me. He's all like, "Hey, aren't like they attract pedophiles?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, there's this TikTok that says that." And just letting you guys know that's a thing that's out there, and it's out there for a reason. And I think as fans, we should like protect like the music side of it, you know, like, hey, this is really good music. It's more than this. Because Chris, my son, he was like, I love the music, but I'm just letting you know this. I thought this was interesting because I told him about you and your channel, and they're, you know how kids are. They make fun of each other. They're like, oh, well, your dad, blah, blah, blah. And they send them this. So it's just something to keep in mind, you know.
That's why it's good to see that diversity in the with the live shows.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why
Yeah.
I wanted to keep spreading
Yeah.
to the younger generation. Like, there's no issue with us liking it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't
know
know,
if it's
champ. You don't like chemical reactions, so there's that issue that we still need to solve.
It's their worst song.
So we need to convince you to like a song still. You
Not
know,
their worst song.
It's the worst song.
No, it's not.
All right, you're gonna get us you're gonna get us
Enough of that shit.
copyrighted, man.
no, we've been talking over it. We're good. All right. You're just saying that. Don't be salty about us playing the chemical reaction.
Hold on, real quick. No, Hard Bros says don't trust TikTok, but let me explain something to you real quick, Hard Bros. As a man with a 14-year-old son who is on TikTok literally all day.
Yes, all my kids are on
dictating. It is dictating everything about their lives right now. Their
I take away their
style,
phone.
the music that they listen to, the forms of entertainment that they get. TikTok right now is way bigger than any of the other social media when it comes to influence on that generation, man. So TikTok is a bunch of bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's a bunch of fake people doing fake shit. Sometimes it's funny, but
Can't
a
deny
lot of
that
times-
shit though.
No, it does exist, and it is happening, and it does have this huge influence over that generation. So
That's why
I mean, we have
guys
to
and
take it
guys-
seriously to an extent.
That's why the Guys Your Guys podcast is considering doing the TikTok thing and putting up short clips of this podcast because, I mean, how else are we going to spread music? Because younger generations because think about it. YouTube Shorts, Reels, and then TikTok. Like, TikTok has more of a ring to it. It's just, it makes sense why they go to that more overall. It's just, it's all about marketing when you go into there. But let's get to the rest of the news, guys. Like I said, we're just talking here. Like, we love the band. You guys know this. And we really hope in end that everyone will appreciate them also and get more fans in the future, you know? Spread that love on. So the news, the later half of the news, that was 2 hours about BAND-MAID, guys. And I feel like
All
we
right,
need
see you
2
guys
more
later.
hours.
I do have to take my own little break here. It's just necessary. It's gonna
You want to
happen.
take a real quick break?
Go ahead, Ryan.
You want to take a quick break? We'll come back.
Yep.
All right,
Give me
taking
that.
a quick break, guys. 3 minutes. We'll be right back. Hey, guys, while we're waiting for Ryan to come back, Champ, you want to tell him about the Patreon and the memberships? Because I am putting up a video after this announcing the winners of all the good BAND-MAID stuff that I'm passing out and Nemophila pick. But go ahead, Champ.
Do I? I do. So, yeah, amongst all of this, this BAND-MAID tour and everything like that, we have finally been able to, well, almost reconvene with everybody. Wave unfortunately got sick at the last moment, but we're back to making content on a weekly basis over on Patreon. So if you want to check that out, you could obviously go to our Patreon, patreon.com/guys. Today's reaction is going to be Unlucky Morpheus, a live one. So that's pretty cool. So pop over there if you want to check that out. And then you could also join up on our channel memberships, which gives you some exclusive content as well. And that you could just do right now by pressing join.
And apparently you can gift them to other people. So again, shout to Vladimir. He's the very first person ever to gift memberships, which I didn't know was a thing. So
we got there, Alan. Is that Drano?
it's milk.
It's just drinking bleach.
I'm making
Yeah,
I'm like
dude, come
mixing
on,
my
man.
coffee. I saw my son out in the kitchen right now. I'm like, I told everyone about your TikTok you show me. He's like, oh no. I'm like, they all hate you now. he's like, that's the stereotype. I was just letting you know what they're saying. I was like, no, I appreciate it. I want to know what's going on. I'm curious to see what kids are saying about it.
Always,
It's so funny.
Me too. Like, we got to remember not to get upset at, like,
Yeah.
what other people are saying. What
16
sometimes when we talk
guys.
about these things, we're not saying that they're right or wrong or anything like that. We're just discussing, that they exist. And
I thought it was
thoughts on it
funny.
and stuff like that. But
His face was priceless because he likes them. He likes the songs I've showed him. So like,
Yeah.
but,
Well, it's his job to clarify that shit.
I think you could go past that though too, and you could say that, like, there's a lot of we talked about this. All right, we talked about this in depth in our fetishization video. All right, so if you really want to know our thoughts about that, you can just go
That's
back and listen to that one.
we're gonna get on the news. Otto, first album. I can't believe that Otto is finally releasing an album. I feel like she has 8 albums worth of music already up.
Is it all new stuff or just the stuff we've already heard?
I didn't look deeply into it. I will get back to you guys on that.
No,
I
you
think
won't.
it's no, I will, Ryan. All right. It was a little. I was like, everyone was sick in my family. So, anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, anyways, first album, Kyogen Analog Board, released on January 26, 2023. It could be older songs, could be newer songs, but I mean, she's releasing like so many songs a month along with covers.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to you next week. I'll let you guys know if more information about that, if they're gonna be new or older songs. Baby Metal hit 1 million views on Divine Attack. I still enjoy that song. I love that song. I know it's like I'm so excited for it because it's like an introduction to great things, and I know it, and I cannot wait to go see him in Austria. Fucking excited. It's gonna be another crazy year. D Drive has a second album coming out called Dynamotive that just released. I need to get back to this band. Have you guys been listening to D Drive? Any D Drive lately?
Did you ask if I've been listening to BAND-MAID? Because yes.
This is Japanese music news podcast, Ryan. Just remind me.
Oh, sorry. I have not. I've been a little laser focused on like one thing.
I don't blame you, Ryan. I am too. I'm trying not to be sad about it. That's why I've been listening to other music because I even messaged Ryan. Right? I think it was you that I messaged. I was like, I'm feeling so down. I gotta listen to other things because it was fun. It was such a fun adventure. It was like going on an adventure, going to all those shows. Unlucky Morpheus, they're going to be releasing their Club Sitta, which is on December 28th. It's a Wednesday. Their performance will be live streamed for free by members.
Wow, cool.
Please watch it broadcast from an Unlucky Morpheus sub-channel, and there's a link on their Twitter. It's also in our Discord server. Remember, if you join our Discord server, we put notifications of all these bands. Let us know if we're missing a band, and it automatically puts everything in one place for you on all the Japanese music news. One Eye Close. I just heard their new song. It's my favorite One Eye Close song. It's a really good song. If you weren't a fan of One Eye Close, give this song a chance. It's really good. They teamed up with a band called Tita. They were part of a huge anime. And they did a song together, and it's called Real Intent, and it's with Japanese rap rock hero Tita, and he's pretty good. He's really good. I've never heard him before, but he's Japan's most recognized artist globally with over 2.25 million monthly listeners on Spotify, whose biggest track has been played more than 20 million times. And this Real Intent comes hot off the heels of One Eye Close's latest EP, Distance, a collection of tracks recorded during Japan's recent state of emergency. The band whose used music was featured as the ending theme to an award-winning adventure video game, No Straight Roads, are big fans of Back On, so when Back On joined the same record label as the band, SJP Records, they decided to send them a DM, and the band DM to the band they admire and say hello. Soon after, Real Intent was born. So that's really cool. So they reached out to this band that had a lot of notoriety, and they actually responded back. I know Ray had talked about it during our interview that we have on this podcast. So go check out the interview. He talks about his meetup with Back On, and it was a really cool story.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Pale Dust. I didn't even know they were playing in America. I've been listening to Pale Dust a lot. This is how I've been getting over my BAND-MAID blues. Listening to World Domination and Pale Dust album. I'm fucking in love with them now. But they had to withdraw from the upcoming Northern American tour with Loathe and Static Dress due to not being able to get approval for working visas. So they couldn't get their visas in time, the two members, and that's why they couldn't come over. Which is really sucks, guys. They're so good. I did a reaction to both these bands, Pale Dust and When I Close, and I'm telling you guys, those two new songs are good. Go check them out. And
why do you need a working visa just to play some shows?
Because you're working.
So what? I've gone to other places and played shows before, like
different countries.
Different countries.
I no, but still,
that might be why you don't understand.
I don't really like you. If you went to visit a country, for example, right? Like if
They're not visiting.
But if I went to visit, right, and like while I was there, somebody was like, "Hey, man, you want to come on stage and play a show?" Like, are you saying I wouldn't be able to do that? They would be like, "No,
you need a working visa."
Person saw it. Like, are you working?
Yeah, they'd have to pay you. They have to pay you under the table to do that.
I've seen it on Top Gear. They were in France and they didn't have. This may be different because it was on Sunday and people aren't allowed to work on Sunday, and they're like, "Are you filming a show?" You're like, "Yeah." Well, you can't do that. It's Sunday. So I mean, I guess that's a more specific thing there, but like if you're not
Yeah.
supposed to work and get paid for it, they'd be like, hey, quit.
Yeah, you have to be doing it for free if you play the
Yeah.
show. And I don't think Paddle Dust wants to come all the way to North America and play for free.
No, I'm sure.
The problem is they were honest about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Unlike
Hey,
you,
Just lie
champ,
about it.
who would
Yeah,
lie
I'd
about it.
Unlike you,
I would
Champ.
bullshit at everybody. Absolutely, I would.
I'm not working.
I'm not getting paid for this. Hey guys,
Do you know who I
It's
am?
my pocket.
Yeah. Also, thanks for a reminder. Chase has talked about it with us too, about the whole visa thing on our podcast. Check out the Chase
that's right.
podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
He mentions about it too, where he had to like take away all his monetization for YouTube.
Yeah.
So, but however, good news to everyone in Australia because they are going to be playing with Electric Callboy November 30th, which I'm super jealous and I want to
cool.
go. But their record label is located in Australia.
Right
So
on.
I found that out, and then this was announced, and I was like, holy shit. So everyone in Australia, go check out Electric Callboy and Pale Dust. They're both good bands live that I've heard of.
That's a guaranteed entertaining concert, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way that's not going to be fun as hell.
Yeah, it's on a Wednesday. Go blow that place off. Show them some love. And Broken by the Scream. Also, a lot of JPU record news, man. Join JPU Records. And they're going to release Rise into Chaos album on CD. I still need to give these girls another chance. I haven't really listened to much. What do you guys think about Broken by the Scream? I think you guys have checked out some songs.
I think I did one reaction recently, and it was so. They're very. I think they're kind of their thing is they're very extreme from one extreme to the other. Very poppy, very catchy stuff mixed in with some guttural fucking heaviness, which it made me laugh. Not because I thought it was funny, just because the switch was so abrupt. It's just like what the fuck. So I think it's one of those bands where there will probably be a moment where I'm like, I want to listen to Broken by the Scream. Like they're not gonna infringe on any other moods. If
Yeah.
that makes any sense. But there's gonna be some time where like I want to hear some crazy shit. I'll listen to them.
I think they're fucking awesome. I really like. I wish people would watch.
What's your favorite thing about
reactions for
them,
more.
champ?
Well, they're like an alt metal idol band, and like
Yeah.
I just like that sort of vibe in general. I mean, it's like a bunch of hot girls dancing and playing metal
They're very,
music, and
very hot.
you know, like I mean, there's really nothing that I can say negative about them. I'm a little bit more I like the jumps from pop to metal like a lot. That's like right in my wheelhouse, right? So
Right.
they make music for somebody like me like perfectly. I love it. But I will say that like I wish that I think they should be more popular than they are. I would like to make more reactions. I kind of just listen to them on my own at this point because nobody watches reactions for them, but which is kind of a shame. But like they're a really good band.
Shame
The
on you for not
instrumentalists
making
are
them.
great.
Yeah, shame on you for not making them. How are they going to find
That's
out
why
about
people
them?
aren't watching them. Help them, champ.
Hey, you go over to my Broken by the Scream. I think the one reaction that I put up on my channel was the only reaction that I had on my channel that had less than 1,000 views for like ever.
So
So I go with the popularity. I go with the hype train, man. Come on. Trying to make some moolah.
On JP Records, I put up a cool little article about them. Japan's Broken by the Scream redefined idol with new album Rise into Chaos out on CD internationally via JP Records from November 11th, 2022. The all-female unit incorporates elements of gent, metalcore, and tech metal with cute pop vocals. Is that accurate, champ?
Yes.
Supplied by members Ayame and Tsubaki, accompanied by the unbelievably brutal growls of the low rock and metal festivals, have a track in the PS4 game One Chanbara Origin. I'm going to stop reading. But anyways, check them out. I don't know. I've heard a couple and I wasn't a fan right out the gate. I probably have to hear more. I can't remember what songs I've heard. But teach their own. What, champ?
They definitely have their own. I could see a lot of people not liking them. It's I put them in the same categories like Passcode. You know what I mean? Passcode. If you've listened to Passcode, they're fucking the same style except with that video game sort of MIDI feels that they have.
I like
Yep.
passcode.
Okay. Well, that's the news. I think I quick gunned that real quick, guys.
Well done, Alan.
I have some. Thank you to Allergic, who's posting into Discord right now. We have a really cool image here. It kind of reminds me of the Aftershock festival, where you can see a giant Konami. Let me pull this up. If you guys have any other pictures to share in the BAND-MAID Discord, put them up here. I'll share them over right here.
I love all size Konamis.
Giant.
Do we have
Konami. Can you guys see?
Ah, there she is. That is pretty giant.
That's from the GNR show.
Norman.
Saitama Arena.
Oh, nice.
That's one thing I like seeing was like the one shot that I was sent on Twitter had that huge. It's just cool seeing him on a big screen like that.
Yeah, I will say this: like, I feel like the people in the crowd that were there for GNR that weren't listening to BAND-MAID, if they were actually watching the BAND-MAID part beforehand, and they had like a good quality sound and they could hear what Konami was doing, I bet a lot of the people that like Slash would have been like, "Hell, fucking this is right up my alley."
Yeah,
I agree. If they were there, they would like them because it's like it has very similar styles too here and there in the actual playing. All right, I'm trying to play this video. Oh my god, it's a giant Miku.
Oh, give us all the giant maids.
all the giant maids. All right, here we go. Here's a little clip of the GNR. In comparison to the stage, that is gigantic.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane. I love it.
I mean, the stage itself is just so big, and after seeing them in such tiny venues,
that is pretty much how it was at Aftershock. About that gap, and you had a bunch of people there. Yep.
If you look, they're at the front. The next band stuff is behind them, and GNR shit is behind them. It's like Axel has like a fucking football field to run around on and get in shape.
He's still not in shape.
Oh, by the way, the giant Miku just reminded me of. I don't know if you were still there for this part of New Jersey, but at some point they were doing their
You talk about when Miku pointed at me?
No, but that happened earlier. Yeah, I do remember that happening. But no, they were talking about.
I didn't even talk about
how they do their Japanese lesson time, but Konami was nowhere to be found. She was just like gone, and they were like looking for her. They couldn't find her, and so they did it with Misa, I think, or whatever. But they accidentally called Miku a big pigeon. They were trying to figure out what's going on, and Miku just got so pissed. She was like, "I am not big. What are you guys talking about? I am a small pigeon." And then like got the crowd to chant "big pigeon," which was pretty funny also. And then she was like, "No, it's just my shoulders that are big." So then they started chanting "big shoulders" at her, it was pretty fun to just watch her get like teased for a little while.
Oh, that's awesome. Because you can see Miku getting aggravated and fighting back.
She was yelling. She was like, stop it.
She did it in other shows. You could tell she has an aggressive side just from the other shows when she was getting mad at everybody in New York. And New York was hilarious because I thought this was New York City.
You need big boys. This is New York.
Where's the big boy? Oh,
it was awesome.
It was very awesome.
She's hilarious, man. No, I don't want to join him on the time. No, you must join. She scolding everybody before they did anything wrong.
Oh man. So when she pointed out at the Nickelodeon crowd, there was a moment where I didn't repeat back, and she pointed at me because I was standing on the freaking pillar, and she's like, you not say the voice, or however she said it. You know how she always points someone out in the crowd that they say, you did not say or whatever it was.
You didn't know anymore.
I was like, and I was like, fuck.
I just got in trouble.
I was like, I just got caught.
I think she pointed out Vlad. He wasn't
Vlad
smiling or something.
Yeah. I can see that happening. Vlad was right up front.
No shy voice.
Oh yeah, and then a bunch of people actually brought bananas to the show too. So when they did the banana part, they pulled the bananas out in the front, and it made them all very happy.
That's good stuff. All right, guys, that's the end of the podcast.
We got a top 10 or no?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. There's just so much BAND-MAID news, I mean,
there's other stuff I could do today, but let's keep going. Let's
plow through this top 10, and then we'll do our Patreon reaction. Somebody asked in the chat if the auto reaction that we did a few like last month is going to go up on the channel memberships. Alan, do you know if that's going to go
Yes,
up there
I'll put that up right now. I thought I already did. So thank you for reminding me. That means I did not put it on there, and I'll do that right now for you all.
So if you guys want to see our reaction to our group reaction to Otto's Crime and Punishment, that'll be up on it's on Patreon right now. But if you don't like Patreon, sign up for our channel membership.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys on the membership thing. I'm still typing in all the names, so I'm going to go. You know what I'm thinking about? I might go live later and announce the winners. I was just going to film a video, but I might just go live and I'll show you guys a little wheel thing and then we'll announce the winners later, okay? We're going to do that. It's going to happen today no matter what. If you miss it, then you can watch it afterwards.
You got like what kind of wheel thing? We got this in the budget?
It's free.
You stole it from a dingo shop?
From Dingo
facility?
I don't know what it is.
Find it on the street? What the fuck?
Yes. I'm so excited for this top 10. Thank you for reminding
Take
me.
that bleach, pour it all over whatever it is you got.
Yeah, I already did.
All right.
Oh, man. I can't wait to go on tour again. When are we doing this again? When's BAND-MAID coming again, Ryan?
I don't know, man.
Oh, so fun. All right, here we go. Baby Metal, number 10. Woo! Divine Attack. Excited for Baby Metal. Good job, Baby Metal. Can't wait to see him live.
I haven't listened to that song again, if I'm honest.
It's only number 10 though. What the fuck?
Kind of surprised.
I'm happy.
People are still talking about how that's probably going to end up being the season 5 Attack on Titan OST also, which I hope it is. It'll get huge.
Which one? Divine Attack?
Yeah.
Really? Is that?
Yeah, a lot of people are speculating that that's going to end up being the Attack on Titan OST for season 5, which I really hope it is, man. The Sim rumbling exploded for the Sim, right? So like, I hope the same thing happens with Baby Metal if they actually do go through with that.
You guys should come with me to Austria on May 7th to go see Baby Metal. Let's go. Come on, guys. Meet with all the Discord fam over there. All right, light it up. Sim, number 9. They're holding strong with this. I think Sim is just like in everybody's mind because of Attack on Titan. And I still need to check out this song. That's definitely going to be my goal for this upcoming Wednesday live reactions. I'm going to check this out. Have you guys checked it out?
Nope.
All right. Lisa, number 8, dropped the spot. Ella Garden, staying strong at number 7. That's a really good song. Otto, is this new? No.
Oh.
I don't remember this, but this was probably. Oh, this is up on the last time. This is what happens when we miss a podcast. We're completely lost, and I can't even remember if I've heard this song already. Have you guys heard this song yet?
No, definitely not.
No. And then we have Sutumayo. I've never heard of this artist, and I need to check this out too. So, a little information on them. It is a Japanese rock band, a rock group that debuted in 2018. Secretive by nature, the group has never released a full member list, crediting different people for music, arrangements, and music video production each time. So they have somebody different every single time. The only member reoccurring in all the group's output is the vocalist. So it's kind of like a auto thing. It sounds like an unidentified woman called Akane. Oh wow, I got it right. I got the pronunciation right. It's Chainsaw Man, ending 02. By the way.
Okay. So Chainsaw Man just debuted. It just came out. It's super popular right now.
Yeah.
To the chat, who's watched Chainsaw Man, and is it okay for an 11-year-old boy to watch it? Because I told him I was going to watch it.
The head and arms are made of chainsaws or something.
Yeah, it's about a guy that like loses his limbs and gets them replaced by chainsaws.
He can handle that.
It's probably a heartfelt, wholesome show. Not that much blood and gore.
Tell him to watch Spy Family instead.
I mean, yeah, because he's like, Dad, let's watch it. I'm like, you know what? I do want to watch it. But like, wait a second. I'm not sure what this anime is about.
Him trying to hold people.
Oh, God. Speaking of anime, quick plug. I started a new channel a couple weeks ago, which is doing anime reactions, and right now I'm doing Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer up there, and also Squid Game if you guys want to watch that. So, just go over to Media.
It's funny you're doing that because Eric and I are doing Chainsaw Man because we're like, we might as well. It's a newer anime.
Man. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and since we already, like, Maximum Hormone had the song for it, I'm like, fuck, I want to watch it. I want to chill and watch some shows. I haven't watched TV in forever. Like, why not do some anime?
I'm about to start Attack on Titan this week also, so I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome, dude.
Finally get to hear those OSTs. I'm actually going to do a whole video of just all of Attack on Titan's OSTs first, too. So I want to listen to all the theme songs before I even watch the show.
So this is a good. So my son got me into One Punch Man. He played a season, and I was like, how the hell can this be entertaining? Like, I really thought that. I'm like, there's no way. So this is the only reason why I'm giving Chainsaw Man a chance, because One Punch Man, I'm like, there's no way this is gonna be interesting. You kill somebody in one punch. I'm like, this is a very entertaining show. I was like, this is a lot better than I thought.
Oh.
So
I do that all the time now. Oh.
My son is currently watching it for the first time, and
I love that show, dude. It's awesome.
yeah, so my 11-year-old got me into One Punch Man. So is the Chainsaw Man worse than One Punch Man? I'm assuming it probably is.
Violence-wise, yes, from
Okay.
everything that I've heard.
Right.
I think Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, they're pretty much like.
And I know how
as
bad
gory
They're
as it
pretty
gets.
brutal, man. Yeah. I haven't not.
right.
I know Attack on Titan's pretty.
I'll watch it with a 16-year-old then. It'll be fine.
Elliott's been watching them for
My son's probably watching it right now.
Yeah.
he's like, Dad, what do you mean it's violent? They're only chopping
mine
people's
too.
heads off.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I was actually more worried about like sexual references or like nudity and stuff like that.
Dude, out of all of the animes that I've watched so far, I've gotten like 0 sexual references in
That's
any
good.
of them. Between Soul Eater, Demon Slayer, and Jujutsu Kaisen. Although in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a guy that just loves girls with big asses, and he wants everybody to know about it. Everybody. Jennifer Lawrence is his shit right now, man. I'm just saying.
I did stumble. I was looking on Crunchyroll and I saw a show called The Maid That I Just Hired Is Very Suspicious. I'm like, that's an odd title for a show. And because of the maid aspect, I'm like, let's see what this is. And it's just, it's fun. It's weird.
Are you sure you were on Crunchyroll?
It's nothing. There's a little bit of innuendo, but not as much as you might figure from this. It's just funny.
It's funny because of BAND-MAID, you'll give like anything a chance that has the word "maid" in it.
Yeah. I think one of the actor of the boy character in is from one of them from Titan, Attack on Titan, and it's just it's interesting.
Let me just.
It was interesting. I watched a few episodes.
I want to answer a question real quick from Matt Horseman. He says, "Never made
ahead.
sense to me. How is sexual stuff worse than gory violence?" And I've actually mentioned the same thing that Alan's mentioned, and people have asked me the same question. And my response is always the same, that fake violence is obviously fake violence, but nudity and sexual innuendo is just nudity and sexual innuendo, whether it's fake or real.
Exactly.
Like a kid can tell the difference between fake cartoon violence and real violence that you see in the news versus putting the ideas of the sexual connotations into their head, which is going to continue to cycle through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my thoughts on that. Back to the top 10. Number 4, Otto, Rebellion. Number 3, we got Chainsaw Blood, Vondi. Vondi is with another great track. This time it's ED for the new Chainsaw Man anime. Vondi, the only challenger up to the task of taking Otto. Is this a full song? Because, Maximum Hormone, I'm not sure if you guys checked out the Chainsaw Man song they did. It leaves you blue-balled so hardcore. I was so pissed off when I heard the song, and everyone in my chat was like, "You are now a true Maximum Hormone fan since you've been trolled." I was like, "Fuck!" I'm still pissed off about it.
Is there not a full version of the song? Is it only the
it's the
anime
minute.
version?
It's the greatest minute and 30 seconds ever, and then it ends.
That's the whole song.
No, it builds up to this you're like, "Oh my god, that great breakdown's gonna happen," and then nothing. I'm like, I would yell during the. I couldn't help it. I was like, "No!" So pissed. I was so pissed. I was like, and then I saw comments. They're like, "Ellen, you are now a Maximum Hormone fan."
Well, there you go, man. You finally,
all
after
right.
years of checking them out, have been indoctrinated.
There you go.
Simno says it is a full song. All right, I'm gonna go check it out. Maybe they won't blue ball me like MTH. All right, number 2, we got Otto. I think if Maximum Hormone does do a full song, there'll be another contender for Otto. Just saying.
What do you mean? To beat them out in first place?
Yeah.
Beat her out in first place?
I think Maximum Hormone could take him. like just like Sim did. Sim was in number 1 for a while, and then Otto again at number 1. Thank you so much for the super chat. Throw your kids in the deep end and watch redo of Healer with them. Fun for the whole family. I'm not going to take your advice.
Yeah, I don't think I am. either.
Sounds like a trap. That sounds like a trap.
That couldn't have been more of a trap.
You need to work on your trap game just a little bit. You need to like make it really convincing.
Damn, is that true, Simno? 8 million plus views for the Maximum the Hormone TV version.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's really, really good, man. That's
So
really,
imagine if they have a full version.
I'm saying though, all these Japanese bands that are doing these anime songs, dude, this is what's gonna get them all to blow up. Like we've seen it over the last year, just happening consistently. And now even with a band like an established band like Maximum the Hormone, still being able to get those numbers from something like that is so fucking good.
Kicks them up a notch.
If you guys want to see my mental breakdown, the video's already up on my reaction to the Maximum Hormone song.
I've seen enough in person to. I'll need to go watch a video of it. Hung out with you too much on it.
Was I better in person or worse in person, Ryan? Just kidding.
As expected.
Oh, great. What the fuck does that mean?
It means whatever you want it to.
I had somebody come up to the light. They're like, I love the fact that you're as weird as you are on camera as in person. I'm like, thanks.
Thanks. Ish. Yeah.
I had nobody come up to me and say anything except for like everybody talked to me was like very nice. And, hey guys, you guys are all fucking awesome. Everybody that talked to me was so fucking cool, man. But nobody ever. The only thing that anybody said that was different from the camera than seeing me in real life is somebody walked up to me and said, "You're shorter than I thought you were going to be." You want to know who that was? Who? That was Alan. that was Alan at the Philly show. After we
nobody said anything about my height. I'm taller.
I was about to say everyone said we were much taller than they thought. Like I was expecting Wave to be like down to this level. He's almost the same height as me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I thought you were short. You said on camera that you're short all the time, and you're not short at all.
I always thought he was short too, bro. I always kind of figured you were around the 6 foot range, Alan. Yeah. I had no idea, Ryan. I can't tell from his camera at all. But when he showed up, him and I were about the same size. So I was like, okay, this is cool with me.
Yeah,
I was a little taller.
Yeah,
no, that's not true. I think I had like half an inch on it.
Actual size, you know those packages like you get like it says actual size. Put that on Ryan's camera, actual size.
When Ryan wasn't looking, I was just walking behind him with a fucking ruler to make sure that I had that half inch.
So who is taller out of Ryan and Champ? What were you taller, Champ?
I think we're both about 5'10", right?
About 5'10".
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
we're both about 5'10".
I'm 5'10" and a quarter.
We need to pull out measuring
that's why
tapes
I said
next
about,
time
because I'm actually 5'11".
One thing we're gonna do differently, like when we do the shows, or not definitely, I definitely want to do more of, is doing the live podcast with live audience there.
Yeah.
That was the best. Shout out to everyone that was there, especially the Matt who hooked up the room for it.
Shout out to Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking presidential
the weirdest
suite
fucking podcast.
It goes down in history as Ryan's favorite podcast of all time. But that'd be fun. That was great. And meeting BM for life and just everyone. Meeting Alan in real life. What does that mean?
Sheeran Kato.
Oh, that was one of their words on the tour. Fuck, what was it?
I don't know what it means.
I've got the biggest feet, Mr. Ozio. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I don't think so.
Anybody wear 13s?
Yep, 13 wide.
Oh, you motherfucker. Okay. Damn, I really thought I was going to get you on that one. I don't know anybody else that wears a 13, bro.
Normally, tall people have 13 size foot. Maybe not. I don't know.
What does that tell you?
Or even feet.
all of my height goes to a different part of my body. That's all I'm going to say.
Davis got his book. Davis, you are very tall and a very big human being.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Chris, you're a giant, man. So is Vlad. Vlad's a big dude.
Hey, Matt and I can share shoes.
Hey, Parker. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Says, I told Ryan in Chicago, I wanted to say it again. Ryan was right about Influencer. The song is so much better live, needs live video. And I couldn't agree more, man. That was probably the song that I was surprised by most out of all the songs.
I love that song.
So good.
I wasn't waiting for it to be better or different. I was just like, holy shit, this is so much. Like, I loved it anyway, and it was so much. It's just better live.
Yeah, it was better live
Thanks,
though,
Parker.
wasn't it? Like I like the song also on the album, but live, it was one of the best songs that they played. I thought, like
Yeah.
both of the shows, it ended up sounding like one of the best.
Yeah.
Great.
By the way, thank you guys for the super chats, the memberships, and everything.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. So this
guys
is, we're gonna end the podcast here. I hope you guys enjoyed this Japanese news podcast, or I should say, this BAND-MAID podcast sprinkled with Japanese news.
Or this GNR speculation podcast.
GNR speculation podcast. What age is the right age podcast? I don't know, whatever you guys want to call it.
Go over to our Patreon, check it out. There's already a bunch of reactions that we've done, and some of them are pretty fucking cool, like Otto and BAND-MAID and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. Patreon.com/guys.
All right, guys. See you guys later. See you.
Adios.